What's up, everybody? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Sorry we are a little behind schedule. We had a meeting earlier, company meeting, but we're here. We're ready to go, and so is Michael Horowitz. He's really ready to go here on a Victory Monday. Good to be back in the win column as the Bears are 10-4. Shout out your city. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We got a lot to get to. A lot of injury news for both teams. As we get ready for Bears-Packers Part 2. We'll take your questions, and Caleb Williams is confident, and the Bears have reasons to be confident. We'll get into that later on as well. A lot of FGBs flying in the chat, as expected. Part 2, Cullen.
Part 2.
5 days, quick week, Saturday night.
Quick week. Listen, a rematch of a game that, didn't go quite the Bears' way the first time, but yeah, listen, it's a huge matchup, not only for the NFC North, but potentially the entirety of the NFC that we'll get into later in today's show. But, yeah, Chicago Bears, they did what they needed to do yesterday. They handled a team that was not in the same level as them, as the Cleveland Browns, and now they look ahead for, the final 3 games, arguably their toughest stretch of the season, as you've got, obviously, the Packers on Saturday. You've got the 49ers primetime Sunday Night Football before finishing it off with the Detroit Lions there in Week 18. So it's going to be very interesting to see these last 3 weeks what the Bears are made of, but I'm here for it. I'm here to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what this team can do. We got William, Jamie, Leo, everybody dropping the FGBs in the chat. We're also bringing the boom for our guy, Michael Horowitz. Boom! Shout out to Mike. He says, Bear down.
Bear down.
5 days. Michael Horowitz, Tyler Villa will be at Bears-Packers at Soldier Field. So can't wait. We'll be live here on the channel as always. So I hope everybody tunes in. What time is the actual game? Is it 7?
On Saturday?
Yeah.
I thought it's at 7:30. I could be mistaken.
7:30. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out when we'll go live. It's at 7:20.
Oh, so 6
so
o'clock.
we'll do a 6 o'clock live.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, hour 20 minutes. We'll catch the end of that Eagles-Commanders game, and then we will go live.
Let's go.
Or we'll be live for the end of that and getting you ready for kickoff. So should be fun.
Should be fun. Not this one, because again, they never want to load TJ. Don't like that the CFP and NFL overlapping on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it either. I will say this, for the Bears-Packers game, like Oregon, James Madison, I think a lot of football fans are okay to have a second option there. But, yeah, I mean, Eagles-Commanders overlapping with, let's see what the afternoon game is for college football. Excuse me. Ole Miss, Tulane. I mean, you're going up against the 2 teams with G5 games with G5 teams in it. So at least Miami A&M is a standalone game. I think that was pretty intentional by the CFP to not have that game go up against the NFL. So I still don't love it, to your point, but look, the NFL, they're not backing down from anybody. Like, I know that college football is a good partner for the NFL, but if they want to put a game on a doubleheader on a Saturday in December, they're going to do it. So, I think college football has scheduling issues of their own to figure out. But, yeah, that's a different topic for a different day. Appreciate the super chat. Anthony, in my opinion, Burden will be wide receiver 1 on the Bears by the end of next year. He was a top 5 prospect for his last year in college. Rome still hasn't shown enough for wide receiver 1. Yeah, I mean, look, I like both guys. I don't think we have to say it's going to be this guy or that guy. They have completely different skill sets. I think they complement each other really well. Rome's clearly been dealing with this foot issue. Burden's starting to come on. I mean, Burden's a dynamic player, man. He can run really good routes. You get him the ball in space. I mean, when's the last time the first guy that touched him got him to the ground, Colin? I swear every catch he breaks at least one tackle. He's a fantastic talent. I mean, he really is. So, it's been good to see him kind of step up these last couple of weeks with Rome down. So, growing up when the Bears they need him right now, and he's delivering. So, that's really promising, not only for the short term but for the future as well.
I think too they just provide different skill sets between the two of them. Burton's that guy that you just get the ball in his hands. He's electric. Run after catch, and he really is a dynamic athlete, whereas Rome I look at as the more like complete receiver, maybe not as explosive as Luther Burden, but to your point, you don't really have to have like the who's the one, who's the two. It's, okay, let's see, what this offense and what Caleb will tend to look for on any given game, and especially when Rome Odunze is healthy. And I think both can contribute. And you obviously have Colson Loveland, who's kind of your big, wider target, your guy that you can go to.
Mismatch guy.
Yeah, middle of the field and all that. So, yeah, I think all three of them complement each other, which is the ideal. But certainly Luther Burden has provided a spark to this team and is, little by little, Harry, it just seems like he's gaining the confidence, gaining more respect from the coaches and more trust, and he's building upon it. So
Caleb's going to him in big spots.
Yes.
I mean, we saw that late in the game against the Giants. We saw it again in the first Packers game to hit him on those deep comeback. I also want to know, remember that play yesterday where they hit him over the middle and he kind of sat in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't seem like a natural route where you would sit, but based on how the zone was, like, I want to know if that was instinctive or if that's what the play called for, because you rarely see that like deep crosser where you sit in the middle. You see that on those underneath option routes a lot, but
so I was thinking about that route too. I thought they ran it earlier in the season, potentially against either Dallas or Vegas.
They did run one against Dallas where
it was kind of like in the middle, like 20 yards.
Remember, he had a guy underneath too. It was almost like stacked. There was like a 10-yard route, and then Luther was at like 20.
Yeah. So that's what it reminded me of. Now maybe again, it could be something where Luther kind of broke it off and Caleb just found him, or maybe it was a combination or somewhat looking similar to that.
Whether it was the design or it was just a feel thing, they were on the same page on that one. So I think that was a sign of kind of that chemistry growing too. Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the recent games for Luther Burden yesterday: 6 for 84, 4 for 67. The week before, 4 for 33, 3 for 46. 3 for 27, 3 for 51, but he's had at least 3 catches in 6 straight games now. So, he's not having these 10 for 150 games, but like the ball's getting spread around. This team still runs the ball a lot. His productivity and just involvement has dramatically increased the last 5, 6, 7 games compared to the first 6 or 7. So, yeah, he's coming along nicely. Michael Horowitz says, check DMs for photos. Okay, let's see what we got here from our guy.
Twitter or Instagram, Michael?
He's an Instagram guy.
Oh, he's an IG.
Yeah, let me see. I still got to catch up on IG from after the game. I don't know if I can.
By the way, congratulate to our raffle winners. If you guys were in our.
I will catch up on those for everybody who's like, why haven't you responded? Okay, here he is.
We got a 6-7 chant breaking out in the chat right now.
I don't see any DMs from you, Mike.
Oh, I think he means also like check your DMs for photo, like when it happens. Like he'll send.
Oh, okay. So for this okay, I think you're right. So are you saying be sure to check for pregame and stuff? Yeah. So I'll check my DMs during the game and pregame next week. And we'll get those turned around. We can put them on the show. So, yeah, send those to me, Michael. Send those to me. Yeah, I just see it. You didn't have to super chat that,
Yeah.
Michael, but
We'll throw a super chat up.
I
real quick.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw those on the show.
Yeah, I mean, feel free and yeah. Hopefully you guys have a great time. Hopefully Tyler Villa and you.
Seems like the weather's going to be decent too. I mean, I saw
Yeah.
the high was like 41. I mean, it's still cold, but like relative to what was yesterday, I mean,
Right.
it'll probably be in the 30s. So like that's much more reasonable than negative wind chill. So we appreciate it, Horowitz, and shout out to you again for donating those tickets to the channel. All right, Dennis Cullen, you got to feel good as a Seattle fan because you probably play NFC South in playoffs. For Harrison, how concerned should we be for the Rams? Well, you're still holding out hopes for the division. I mean,
big game Thursday.
I think they'll have to play better than they did yesterday. But, yeah, to his point, if you lose to the Rams but win your final two, you're probably the 5 seed. That being said, got to play the 49ers again. So
Yep.
if you lose both those, you're probably the 6 seed. So, you know, a lot of ball to be played. But,
Yeah, quick on the Seattle side. They definitely have a tougher schedule the rest of the way than the Rams. They still have to play, obviously, LA on Thursday, San Francisco, and then Carolina, sneaky Carolina. To end the
which
season.
Panthers are you going to get?
Yeah.
A terrible Panthers or a mediocre Panthers? We don't know.
Well, the Rams, they obviously have the Seahawks as well Thursday, and then they finish with the Falcons and the Cardinals to end the season, so significantly easier.
I think it's safe to say if the Rams win on Thursday, barring something unforeseen, they're the 1 seed.
Exactly.
If they win so as Bears fans, if we want a chance at the 1 seed, Seattle is the rooting interest on Thursday. I mean, I think pretty clearly, because just given the schedule.
Right. So there you go. Eric, how concerned should we be for Rome? That last point.
I mean, we're going to get to Ben's comments. He said all options are on the table in terms of would they consider shutting him down. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said it earlier today, and I think it's safe to say this, Colin. At minimum, he's clearly not – there's nothing they can do where he's going to be even close to fully healthy. Yeah. He's got a stress fracture. That's been reported. So the question is, can he manage the pain tolerance? It sounds like he's pushing to do that. How risky – what's the level of risk of further injury, suffering a major injury that could impact like – a lengthened off-season recovery? Because it sounds like he'll probably have to have some kind of a procedure, but you would like to avoid a major fracture that could lead to like a complicated rehab as well. I don't know. It's tough because like the Bears haven't been in this position in a while, and if you're Rome, you're like, shit, man, we're in the middle of this. Like, I want to take the risk, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. You know, Ben kind of made a comment of sometimes you have to protect the player from himself. He is a second-year player in this league. He's got a big future ahead of him. So it's a tough call. I mean, I would guess he's not going to play this week. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. We'll see. I mean, it sounds like he's pushing to play. And, you know, regardless of if he does or not, that's all I need to hear. Like, as long as, like, even if the team prevents him from doing so, the fact that Rome wants to play, I mean, I think that's what you want to hear as a fan, et cetera, as a teammate of his. Like, hey, he's trying to be out there. So I would say this. If he plays, I don't think he's going to have a major impact. Could he make a few plays here and there, some one-on-one opportunities, give him a chance to come down with a contested catch, stuff like that? I doubt you're going to see him run, elite routes where he's getting 5 yards of separation. Like, I just don't think. And I think we've kind of seen that, Colin. Like, he just hasn't seemed as sharp out there when he has been playing recently, and I think it's because he's been limited. Like, he can't be as detailed in the route running. When he gets to the top of those routes, he can't drive off the foot. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those deals where they have to decide if it's worth the risk of further injury.
Yeah, I think, if you're Rome Odunze, or if you're a Bears fan, you're looking at Rome Odunze, you're not going to see the same player you saw the first month of the season where, he was setting the world on fire in terms of the league and production he was having. To Harry's point, you almost kind of have to ask yourself, it's like, okay, is this current version of Rome Odunze, wherever, he's going to push to play, is it worth it sending him out there, versus a guy like a Devin Duvernay, like a Olamide Zaccheaus, those kind of things. Because obviously he's a very talented player, and 80% of Rome Odunze is better than a lot of receivers in this league. But, again, the long-term effect of this injury, you have to kind of outweigh that with the timing of the season, and it's obviously, getting to the point where it's like, hey, the Bears got a real shot to, compete for a high seed in the NFC and potentially win the NFC North. So
and look, like
all a factor.
Inside that building, you're probably thinking like, okay, like we have a chance to be good for years to come. But at the same time, this is also one of those years where it's like, why couldn't the Bears make a run? I mean, like no team is flawless. I think the AFC is fairly watered down. If you were to somehow get through the NFC, like I think you'd have a real shot. Like, so you just, Dan Campbell said it a few years ago when they got to the NFC Championship game in Detroit, he was really vulnerable in the post-game press conference. He said, look, I just told him that might have been our best shot. I don't think it is. I hope it's not, but that might have been. 2.5 years later, Detroit's fighting just to be a playoff team, right? Like, yep. In this current window of Lions football, that does look like their best shot. Even last year when they were better than that team that made the NFC title game, they had a million injuries. The point is, you don't know. The future is not guaranteed for team success. I mean, this year's a great example of it. So many injuries across the league, and that's why if you're the Bears, it's like you don't risk it all for this year. Like if there's some career-threatening injury, of course you wouldn't do that. But like if it's a mild risk of turning this minor injury into a bigger one, like I would understand being the Bears and being Rome like, hey, we're going to take the risk and play because it feels like this is an opportunity to go make a deep playoff run. So that's what they got to work through. They got to figure out short-term versus long-term. If further injury is had, how significant would a rehab be? So those are all questions inside that building that they'll have to kind of dissect through over the next few weeks. Austin, appreciate the 5, Harry. I got to say, I love you, man. Always relating to you, and you're the GOAT, but love Cully too. Bear down forever. The edit's getting me emotional. Well, first of all, thank you. Appreciate you for supporting the show, myself and Cullen as well. And we appreciate you guys. Like, if you guys don't watch, doesn't really, we're just talking to a wall here. So appreciate that. We're going to keep plugging away. So it's nice for to talk about a good team for once. It's been a rough go. So, let's keep enjoying the journey. Another Austin with a 5. What would the wide receiver depth chart look like with no Burden or Rome? Do we see more Jade Walker? I mean, yeah, I think you're looking at a DJ Moore, wide receiver 1, Olamide Zaccheaus, wide receiver 2, Jade Walker, wide receiver 3, right? I mean, you would almost certainly elevate 1, if not 2 players from the practice squad. Let's take a look who's even on the practice squad still at receiver real quick. You got J.P. Richardson and Maurice Alexander on the practice squad. Both those guys have been here all year, so they know the system. Miles Boykin was on the practice squad earlier in the year. They cut him from the practice squad. You could bring a guy like that back if he's still available. I'm not sure if he's been signed elsewhere. I'll just look at free agent wide receivers, see who's available.
It's like DJ Chark, maybe. I don't even know if he's actually out there.
Yeah, I mean, they did work out DJ Chark. You would be thinking, though, of like who's played in this offense before, who could get up to speed quickly. Let's look. Did Brandon Cook sign somewhere?
He's with Buffalo, remember?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
Where's Miles
thin.
Boykin at it?
I mentioned him. I don't know.
Yeah.
He might be available. But, yeah, I mean, I think the answer would be the good news on Burden, and we'll talk about this more in our first segment, it sounds like at most he's missing 1 game.
Yeah.
But, A, it's a big game, and B, okay, so you're going to go DJ Moore, because I don't think Rome's playing this week. Devin Duvernay, Jade Walker, and you probably elevate both your practice squad receivers to be available. I think the answer for this week is you're almost exclusively in 12 personnel, 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, and you're probably running some 13 too. So I think on a 1-game deal you could get by with that, but like,
to be honest, might not be the worst idea for them just in general, right? lean on more of DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, whoever has that hot hand. Tight ends. I mean, listen, everyone's raving about the jump Colson Loveland's made this second half of the season. Cole Kmet made some plays.
He's playing some ball, man. Playing some good ball. Durham Smythe has a role. He can eat up snaps. But it's more of just like you can't just suit up 3 receivers.
No, for sure.
I mean, at minimum, it's got to be 4, but really you like to have 5. And also, like, what does that mean for your return game? Are you exposing Duvernay to every kickoff return and punt return if he's your 3rd receiver? You know what I mean? Right. Like, if he gets hurt on special teams, then you're down to 2. So, like, right. do you have to adjust your kick? And he gave you a spark on special teams yesterday. So, like, there's this domino effect of if both those guys are out. I think the answer clearly on Jahdae Walker is yes, he would be out there and he would eat up some snaps as your, I guess, 4th option, because it would be DJ, Olamide, Duvernay, and Jahdae. Yeah. So, okay, you'd have 4. And then you'd probably elevate J.P. Richardson or Maurice Alexander. And maybe whoever that is, you put him on at least one of kick or punt return, because they're both return specialists. So
there you go.
It's probably what you would do in the short term. I would guess decent chance one of those guys is up for this Packers game. Leith Ahmad, why don't you guys go to home games? Well, for one, Chat Sports is based in Dallas. And 2, we've done like remote watch parties as a company before, a couple of our other channels. It's just a way more controlled environment in the studio for us. It's easier to kind of accomplish what we need to accomplish for these watch parties. Now, that doesn't mean we'll never do remote ones in the future. I don't think we could ever do them at the games. I mean, what are we going to do? Rent a suite for $10,000 or something like that? Probably costs more than that for an NFL game, but I'd love to go.
If anyone knows somebody who is in the loop. With,
if you got a setup for a suite where we can do live watch parties from the stadium, let me know. Otherwise, probably not realistic, unfortunately. Alex Amerling with the FGB Super Chat.
And also Prometheus.
Prometheus as well. All week long, fellas. All week long.
It's that time of year, man. Anthony, what network and commentators are calling the game? I actually haven't looked this one up.
I think it's a Fox game. I don't know, with it being Saturday, who will be the broadcasters. Let's see. It is Fox. Let's see. Bears versus Packers, Week 16. TV commentators. Let's see if that's been announced yet.
May or may not have been.
Full broadcast assignments. All right, here we go. It wouldn't shock me if it's the A team. They might do 2 games this week. Mm-hmm. They might do Saturday and Sunday. Yep, it's Burkhardt and Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi. So let's see if they're doing a second game. I'm actually curious. If they are, you would think it would be afternoon window. Doesn't look like it, actually.
Who will it be?
Yeah, I think this is just the Fox A-team game. So, there you have it. All right. Cool. Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt once again. Okay, Everyday Barbecue, and of course, us here. I mean, that's the real answer. Bears could win the Super Bowl this year. They can beat anyone. Yeah, look, I've come around to that. I don't think I'm certainly not there yet. I don't think I would predict them to win the Super Bowl today. But, like, I think it would be silly to say it's impossible. Every team has flaws. Every team has injuries. Like, any individual game against any team, the Bears are capable of winning. And if that's true, you can make a run. That's the bottom line. Like, a different example, right? Like, the Buccaneers or the Panthers, one of those teams are making the playoffs. They cannot win the Super Bowl. They just are not good enough. The Bears are good enough where it's possible. So, we'll see. Got to get in first. A win Saturday would go a long way toward doing that. But, yeah, this team, they've found ways to win. They know how to win. So, and these final 3 games, to your point, Colin, with it being 3 really good teams, I mean, you win 2 of these 3. I mean, I think you're kind of proving they can beat the good teams in the NFC. So a lot of opportunities ahead of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I mean, you could break it down like individually. The Bears, with their fact of A, they can run the ball and their offensive line that they lean on you with, but B, also the fact that if they continue to force turnovers the way that they do, that's a formula of success that's worked in the NFL for years upon years. So if you're Chicago, you really, A, first of all, make sure you get in, obviously. But B, too, is like now is really when you want to fine tune and really get the formula of like, okay, who are we as a team? You know, are we really going to try to kind of lean on these 2 running backs? Are we more of like establishing the pass maybe early on as a defense? Like how creative can we get? You know, which of the corners are we going with? You know, all this, that, and the other. The Bears, though, are absolutely 100% in the mix when it comes to the NFC in just terms of, you know, who could come out of the conference.
The 2 most important stats. Now, the way your teams are built, like I'll talk about that part of it first. If this team doesn't make a run, it's probably one of 2 things. One, Caleb plays really poorly in a playoff game, and the offense just doesn't score enough. Or 2, the defensive line is just not good enough, right? Like I think those are the 2 things. Like if they fall short, it's one or a combination of those 2 things. And the Caleb part of it, that's not me going after Caleb. I'm a big Caleb believer. That's true with any team. If your quarterback plays poorly, you're probably not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of the quarterback for the Bears, the clear weakness is the defensive line. I don't think it's terrible, but it's certainly not like Super Bowl caliber. So can you work around that? That's a key question. That's why I think this Micah injury is so big, Cullen, because now I look at the Bears and Packers, and I'm like, the one clear advantage they had was their defensive line. Well, Devontae Wyatt's out for the year, and more importantly, Micah Parsons is out for the year. To me, the Bears and the Packers D-lines on paper are very similar now. They both have a B-level pass rusher in Montez Sweat and Rashawn Gary, and then kind of just rotation dudes. Like that's so, you know, now from that standpoint, Chicago and Green Bay are pretty even, in my opinion. I think that's why they went and got Micah Parsons. That's why you guys keep asking me, could they go get Max Crosby? Could they go get Myles Garrett? Because you're that type of piece away from being like a real Super Bowl contender. But the way this year has played out, so many injuries across the league, the Bears are in the mix. So I'm with you, Everyday Barbecue. And the 2 stats that are critical to make it full circle, I mentioned that off the top before going in a different direction. Turnovers, they don't turn over a lot. They take the ball away a lot. And explosives. They've been first or second in explosive plays offensively all year. I think Buffalo, heading into last week, had slightly surpassed them, but they're a top 2 most explosive offensive team in the NFL. If you can generate explosives and win the turnover battle, you have a very good chance of winning in any game you play in. And the Bears are really good at both those things. Emiliano, you know what really grinds my gears? Seeing LaShawn McCoy's goofy thumbnail with his face, glass in hand, bad-mouthing Caleb Cullen, hold me back. The amount of people, the media members this week saying that, or just predicting, saying that Shedeur Sanders was going to outplay Caleb Williams was just silly. And this is not a shot at Shedeur. I'm not one of those to like drag Shedeur through the mud. I think he's probably handled some things not as good as he probably should have. But it's just like there wasn't really anything to point to suggest that was going to happen. And part of that is just the Browns freaking stink around him. So to think he was going to go out there, Cullen, in those conditions with that offensive line, with Jerry Jeudy, who can't catch a cold and -10 wind chill, and he was going to outplay Caleb with less physical traits than Caleb Williams in that game with everything on the line for the Bears, was just a stupid fucking prediction. Like, I'm sorry. Like, of course anything could happen. Phillip Rivers off the couch can come out and play okay, but, like, that was just silly. Like that Chris Broussard, Shedeur's going to outplay Caleb this week. Based on what, Broussard? Like, there's nothing to point to suggest that was going to happen. So, you know, I think these big networks sometimes, they lean into these hot topic issues, and I get it. You know, LeBron sells. That's why they debate LeBron versus Jordan every 2 weeks, because people are going to watch. So, yeah, it was silly. It was never going to happen, and not even because it's fully Shedeur's fault. It's just like, what evidence did we have that Shedeur and the Browns are to come in there and have more offensive success in those conditions than Caleb and the Bears? The answer is 0. So, yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's the latest example of, hey, just because you play in the NFL doesn't automatically make your opinion gospel.
Yeah, Shady's rough on TV. It's not great.
It's not great.
Michael Horowitz. I've
few
tried
super chats
inviting them. I got a hookup on a suite. Well, you have. We'll talk, Mike. There's still logistical things we would have to work through, but hey, maybe in the future, make it happen. If you're saying we got a sweet hookup where we could do everything we do here on game days, then maybe we could. Maybe a preseason trial run could be something. Down to fly to the Windy City?
That'd be nuts. Little preseason watchy from Soldier Field.
We'll talk, Mike. We'll talk. That'd be electric.
Horowitz also follows up. Texas boys don't do well in December.
Hey, listen, I will bundle up, Mike. This is not a weather issue.
I would love to debate this, but based on my voice, I really have no comeback for this. Also, he says any given Sunday, Harry, as well. So, Mike, appreciate that.
Or Saturday.
We got Drew. Did anyone dap up Miles after the game? # network.
I'd have to go look, but God, could you imagine adding him to this team? Is it crazy to say, Colin, if this Bears team this year with everything happening in the NFL, if they had Myles Garrett, I mean, would they be like a top 3 or 4 Super Bowl contender? I mean, the defense would be complete. You would have the best edge rusher in the league, good linebacker play, good secondary for the most part, great offensive line, good run game. I mean, the only way you would lose is if Caleb shit the bed, which even in his not great games, he doesn't really shit the bed because he's not a guy that turns the ball over a lot. So, like,
I also just go back to, like, obviously Dio hasn't worked out so far. He's injured, his Achilles and everything. Imagine if they would have signed Josh Sweat. Because, I mean, he was signed for not much more than what you
4
signed.
4 80, Dio 3 for 48. So, 20 a year versus 16, more guaranteed money. Yeah, I mean, Josh Sweat's been fantastic for the Cardinals. And he's just rotting away there. That team's a joke.
Yeah, and it's just, it kind of goes back to where, like, if you're making a trade, chances are it's because you made a mistake in either the draft or free agency to try to, like, cover up that mistake. So Bears would have to pay a premium for Myles Garrett, but, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, his impact, he's going to break the sack record by potentially a comfy margin, which is crazy to say.
Look, if the Bears are in the NFL divisional round or the NFC Championship game and they play well but come up just short, and it's notable that the reason was they couldn't get pressure on the opposing quarterback, they're going to make a move. I feel pretty confident in that. Now, maybe it's not for the guy we think. Maybe it's for someone else, or maybe it's trading up in the draft for one of these better edge rushers coming out, but you would think they would be pretty aggressive identifying that as a clear and obvious need this offseason. Posey Jones, I love the Bears' chances of beating Green Bay. However, the blitz and dime defense, Green Bay took advantage of us deep, and so did Cleveland to a certain extent. True. We have to fix this if we're going on a playoff run. Yeah, Ben said it after the Packers game. We gave up too many explosives. And even yesterday, they gave up a couple, and it could have been a couple more. Shedeur missed, Isaiah Bond deep. Jerry Jeudy couldn't squeeze that touchdown where Jalen Johnson was able to snatch it away from him. So, look, if you're going to stop blitzing and force them to dink and dunk, you can't drop 7 and still get beat over the top. I thought Kevin Byard had one of his not worst games of the year yesterday. PFF agrees with me. He graded in the 40s. And listen, he's been fantastic all year. Older player. He's going to not play his best every week. I get it. But, like, he's got to play better than that in these big matchups because you cannot afford to give up bombs, especially when you're dropping 7. So, yeah, I'm with you. That stood out the last couple of weeks. They have left openings downfield for explosives for the other team.
Now, Green Bay, we'll see, and we'll get more info as we get later on in the week. Their deep threat may or may not be playing for the Packers.
Christian Watson. I mean, if he can't go, that's a big break for the Bears. I mean, Jaden Reed's got some speed, Matthew Golden's got speed, but they're smaller bodies. If Watson can't go, that's a big loss for this matchup, I think. I mean, he clearly opened up the entire offense in the first matchup because they were able to hit him on a couple chunk plays, then all of a sudden you got to sag back. They hammer you with Josh Jacobs, so it all works together.
Speaking of that, we'll talk about it here in a second as we get into our first segment. Tremaine Edmunds being back, going up against Josh Jacobs, that could be a huge swing for the Chicago
Yeah,
Bears.
we'll see if he plays. They're opening his practice window, but he is eligible to return. I would guess if he goes, it's a pitch count situation, but if he could give you 30 snaps, TJ's full throttle, DeMarco Jackson's held his own, that would be big, especially against the run. Huge. And Josh Jacobs. Jay Reed, do we get any news on Luther? Is he out? He's day-to-day. We're going to break it down further coming up. Ben Johnson labeled him day-to-day. TBD for Saturday. TJ, Monday Night Football and college football playoff first-round picks.
I got the first round up.
I picked Miami tonight. I don't know why I thought that game was in Miami. It's in Pittsburgh, so I'm kind of regretting that thought. But I'll stick with the Dolphins. I like the way they're playing, and I'm kind of just rooting for chaos. Pittsburgh loses.
Fair.
Miami, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, all 7-7. That's pretty interesting. And then CFP first round. I'm gonna go.
Alabama's favored by 1.5 against Oklahoma.
They got to play a lot better, man, if they're going to win. I know OU's offense is kind of struggling, but their defense has been awesome, and Bama's offense does not look good. I'll tell you what I love in that game is the under 40.5.
Mm-hmm.
That feels pretty high for those two teams right now. Like that to me, that feels like a 2017, 1916 type of slugfest.
Yep.
I think I like OU in the under in that game. OU getting points in Norman. Primetime game. Defense is going to be flying around. I'll take OU in the points there.
A&M by -3.5 against Miami.
I don't have a great feel for this game because I've liked A&M all year, and then I was not impressed against Texas. I was like, they got kind of worked in the second half.
They did.
A&M historically in big spots, not great. Now, Miami, you could say the same thing about it. This is kind of like a who's going to exercise their demons game because both these teams are kind of known as chokers historically. I do kind of like Miami getting points. I'll say this, too. If you're Miami, that game being at 11 a.m. instead of at night at Kyle Field, I think that really helps. If that game was at night, that place, it's going to be rocking, but
regardless.
At night, though, that place is a different atmosphere.
Versus 11 a.m.
I don't hate Miami in that game.
Give me the U, baby.
You like the U as well. I'll take Ole Miss. I don't think it'll be 45-10. I think Tulane will keep it closer, but I do like Ole Miss. Do you like a cover 17.5?
Give me. Here's the thing. Tulane's kind of weirdly scrappy. I just think that if Ole Miss plays even their B game, I still think they can win by 3 touchdowns. So I will still take the Rebs in that one. Although I don't love their chances deeper into the college football playoff.
I'll take Ole Miss win, Tulane cover. I could see they're down. I don't know, 38-17 backdoor cover or something like that. I think that's on the table. And then Oregon, 21.5-point favorites. I think that's covered by halftime. I really do. I think they are going to slaughter James Madison. Slaughter.
Emiliano. Thank you, Emiliano. He sent me the DM. I guess this is from the thumbnail he was talking about earlier of Shady McCoy. Thank you, Emiliano.
Shady.
No, I agree with all your picks. I think, I'll rock with you. I actually think Alabama and Ty Simpson, they're going to have something for Oklahoma the second time around. So
I'll say this. The extra time to prepare, I know it hasn't been a seamless transition from Saban to DeBoer. I still think DeBoer's a big-time coach.
Yes.
So I think giving him extra time, I might regret that Oklahoma pick because, all things equal, I will take a Kalen DeBoer coach team over a Brent Venables coach team.
Mm-hmm.
But I just do think there's a lot of elements that favor OU in this spot. Playing at home, prime time, excellent defense. Bama's been reeling offensively, but I could also see a Ty Simpson, Kalen DeBoer kind of silence the haters. It's been a tough few weeks here, but we've had stretches this year we've been playing well. So yeah, we'll see. Michael Horowitz, DM me, Harry. Got to reverse it a year ahead of time around.
Reserve it.
reserve it. Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch, Mike. We'll be in touch.
All right, we caught up here?
Well, we are.
All right, hit that like button. We'll answer more questions as we go. Appreciate all the super chats on a Victory Monday. Got almost 800 people watching live. Let's get more Bears fans in here. The best way to attract more Bears fans is hit the like button, sends a little message to the algorithm that, oh, people are watching this stream. Let's show it to more people, and hopefully more Bears fans see it. All right, we got a lot of injury news to discuss for both the Bears and the Packers as we gear up for the rematch on Saturday at Soldier Field. We'll take your questions, #Bears or Super Chat, to get your questions answered on the show. And Caleb Williams made a comment that caught my attention in terms of his confidence in this team right now. And I kind of go through some reasons why the Bears should be confident in themselves and why they could make a deep playoff run. Got to get to the playoffs first, but why they have a chance to do all of that. Big show ahead. Stick with us here. It is Chicago Bears Now. All right, coming up, we got a lot of injury news to dissect. Micah Parsons, how big of a loss is that for Green Bay? How does it impact Saturday? How does it impact the entire season for the whole league, really? Because does Green Bay still have a chance to make a deep playoff run? I give my thoughts on that. Plus, we have some new Chicago Bears injury updates to discuss as well. Some good news, some seemingly not so good news. So we'll dive into all of it here on the channel. But my name is Harrison Graham. It's Bears Packers Part 2. If you want the Bears to get revenge on Green Bay, hit that like button. I expect to see 2,000 likes on this show. Let's take down the Packers in the rematch at Soldier Field. All right, unless you've been under a rock, you've seen the news, but we'll kind of react to it further here. Micah Parsons is out for the year. MRI confirmed a torn ACL earlier today. And look, stats aside, which the stats are fantastic, obviously, this is just one of the biggest blows a team could suffer at this point in the season. I mean, they traded 2 first-round picks for him. They gave him $47 million per year. They gave him, I think, $188 million guaranteed. They felt like he was the missing piece to put them over the top and potentially make a deep playoff run. And recently, they were kind of proven right on that. It was kind of like, hey, if Jordan Love and the offense can play well, we think Micah makes our defense elite. And is that not how the Packers had looked? I know yesterday was kind of this back-and-forth game with Denver, but that's an elite team too. And now Micah's gone. There's just no replacing him if you're the Packers. And that's a big benefit for the Bears. I always say this. We do not celebrate injuries on this channel. We will never celebrate injuries on this channel, regardless of if it is a player on the Green Bay Packers. But the reality is this is major news for the NFC North, for the Packers, for the Bears, for this game this weekend, and for playoff implications. I still think Green Bay is going to be a playoff team. If they win Saturday, there's a good chance they would still win this division. But this matchup got a whole lot easier for Chicago because that last game at Lambeau Field, I thought Micah Parsons was felt throughout. I know he didn't have a sack, but he was in the backfield a lot. The Bears had a game plan around him, just like every other team does. And now you don't even have to do that part of it. It's not just the 60 minutes on Sunday. It's the stress and the preparation throughout the week. He's a guy that keeps play callers up at night. Like, how the hell are we going to deal with Micah Parsons? I promise you, that is something that Ben Johnson lost sleep over in that first matchup. So you don't even have to worry about that now. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need a strong game plan. That doesn't mean that, Rashawn Gary can't be a factor in all these different things. But to me, this went from the Packers are probably a little bit of a better team than the Bears to it's kind of evened out. And honestly, maybe the Bears are a little bit better. Now, I think if these teams played 10 times, it would probably be pretty even. The sports books still like Packers slightly, -1.5, but I like the Bears getting money on a short week at home. The Packers' last 2 games, Chicago at home, that was a physical game at Denver. The Bears coming off a relatively easy win against the Browns. No Micah Parsons now, a few other key Packers injured. I already like the Bears' chances at home in this rematch. I like it even more now. I feel pretty good about the Bears' chances of going out there and winning this game. Now, the Packers are not done as a team, but I do think their Super Bowl chances took a significant hit. I don't think there's no chance they could make a Super Bowl run, but if before they were one of, if not the favorite or co-favorites along with maybe the Rams, I think they're now just kind of in the mix with the rest of the NFC at this point, because I look at these two defensive lines, looking at the Packers right there and just kind of comparing it to the Bears. Does it not feel similar? Do these defensive lines not feel very similar? Rashawn Gary, Montez Sweat, very similar caliber player. B-level edge rushers, good players. But when they're the top guy, that's not good enough. And the rest of that Packers group, just like the rest of the Bears group, kind of just decent to solid players, right? If anything, like Grady Jarrett's come on a little bit. Javon Dexter had a sack the other day. Like, it's kind of similar. Maybe even the Bears have a slight advantage now. Now, Green Bay might have slightly better depth, but don't forget, Devontae Wyatt's not in the mix either. He's out for the year. So the Packers and the Bears, it's kind of the Spider-Man meme, like pointing at each other, kind of the same now. That's why they went and got Micah. Because when you have Micah, all of a sudden these role players can play better than role players because so much attention goes toward Micah Parsons. Well, now they don't have that. And so teams are going to focus in on Rashawn Gary, who has not had a sack in 7 games, by the way, and he's got to be the top dog. And like Montez Sweat, he's a good player, but he's not really a top dog. He's a number 2. And kind of like in a rotation of starting pitchers, when your number 2 has to become the ace, domino effect. Big deal, not just for the number who becomes the ace, but the rest of that rotation gets impacted because you're asking players to do more than they're really capable of. And we've seen that with the Bears this year, and I think now you're going to see something similar with the Packers, and it's going to force Jeff Hafley to probably be more aggressive and blitz more. And I think that plays into opposing offenses' hands when you have to blitz and you're not doing it by choice. That's not a place you want to be as a play caller and as a team. So that is a big deal that Micah is out. We'll keep an eye on these injuries as well. Christian Watson, he did avoid major injury per reports. His status for this week is unknown. We'll know more later in the week. Zach Tom and Evan Williams also didn't suffer major injuries, but Matt LaFleur did kind of hint that, could miss a game or two, which obviously if it's even just one game, that's this Saturday's game against the Chicago Bears. What is your confidence level in beating the Packers? Scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to go 7-9. Not quite 8+ out of 10, but at home, 2 tough games in a row for Green Bay. Bears just played the Browns. Bears proved in that second half against Green Bay that they were the stronger team in that half. If Chicago comes out and plays better early, I feel pretty good about winning this rematch and splitting the season series. All right, some potentially great news, at least it is good news at minimum, that Tremaine Edmunds is trending toward returning. The Bears have opened his 21-day practice window. Now, we'll see if he plays on a short week against Green Bay on Saturday night, although Brad Biggs kind of hinted toward that being a possibility. He said he could very much be in play Saturday against Green Bay. And listen, if you're asking me, if he can go, you play him. Now, it would probably be a pitch count, considering he hasn't played in a month, short week. The Bears have kind of handled those things, injuries like that. Hey, we'll bring you back, but we're not going to play you full throttle. Tyreek Stevenson yesterday, pitch count. Jalen's been on a pitch count, obviously. But when Tremaine Edmunds and TJ Edwards played together for a couple of those games before TJ got hurt and then Tremaine got hurt, they looked really good together in this scheme. They looked better in this scheme than they ever did together in Matt Eberflus's scheme. So the excitement about that possibility of these two guys being healthy together moving forward into hopefully a playoff run, that is really, really good news for the Chicago Bears. So hopefully he plays Saturday, but even if he doesn't, if he can play the final couple of games and be full throttle by the playoffs, if the Bears get there, which they obviously have a great chance of doing, that makes this back seven really, really dangerous. All right, more injury news to discuss, but we got to first tell you about our sponsor. That is Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize picks. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want to pick more on Caleb Williams' pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, you can, all in the same lineup right now, only on Prize Picks. The way a lineup works is simple. You pick 2 or more players and take more or less on their stat projections. Little Monday night action for you guys. I took more on Aaron Rodgers' rush yards, half a rush yard. Just give me one scramble, Aaron, and we'll be good there. I took more than half a touchdown for Devon Achane. Doesn't matter if it's rushing or receiving, and he's a threat to do both, so I like that play. Then a goblin pick for Tua Tagovailoa, half a passing touchdown. Love taking quarterbacks, half a passing touchdown. Take the more on that. $20 lineup to win $65. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Okay, let's get to the latest on Rome. Not so good news, right? Like Tremaine Edmunds trending up, hopefully playing Saturday. If not, should be back very soon. Odunze, who, whether he retweaked it or they played it safe or whatever, could not play on Sunday despite initially having him active. They did not feel comfortable coming out of his pregame workout. Ben Johnson was asked today, hey, is there a world where you guys shut him down? He said all options are on the table regarding what happens next with Rome Odunze. He said, quote, I know he wants to be out there on the field competing, contributing, and helping our team win. There may be a case where we got to protect him from himself a little bit. All options are on the table. The way I'm reading this situation is Rome Odunze is rehabbing hard. He's pushing to play. He has a stress fracture that probably cannot be fully healed without a procedure. You've seen Dr. David Chow, other Twitter doctors, et cetera, be like, yeah, it's not going to be 100%. Probably needs a procedure in the offseason. Okay, cool. But the Bears might be looking at this, and they have access to, the specific information. Okay, yeah, cleaning up a stress fracture, not a big deal. Probably on the shelf for a couple months this offseason. Then he can get back to work, get ready for next year. What if that stress fracture turns into a major fracture? What if he suffers a major injury? Is it a 6-month rehab in the offseason? That's kind of how I'm reading this. Now, I don't know that specifically, but it kind of feels like a pain tolerance issue, which I think Rome is willing to play through, versus how risky is the potential for a major injury here. And if that risk is too high, the Bears may have to step in and just be like, we can't let you play. Like, it's just, you're in your second year. There's too much on the line for you, for this team moving forward, et cetera. On the flip side, I look at the NFL this year, it's like there's a big opportunity here to try and make a run in 2025. So I think they're working through all of those scenarios. I don't think there's a magic fix is what I'm saying. Like, he's going to have an operation to fully clean up the injury. So do you risk further injury? That's what they got to decide. That's how I'm reading it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I feel like when Ben Johnson says we got to protect him from himself. In that quote. Now, I think it's pretty clear, even if he does play through it, even if he does play, we're not getting the left side of the screen here version of Rome Odunze that felt like he was going to have a major breakout, right? Like 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Since he's popped on the injury report, which was after that Ravens game when he went for $115 and a touchdown, he only has 13 catches for 188 yards and 1 touchdown in the last 5 games he's played over a 7-week sample size. I think at minimum he's out Saturday. I do not expect him to play against the Packers. And then they'll kind of continue to assess this as we go. Is it one of those where, you rest him and maybe week 18 you put him out there on a pitch count, see how he comes out of it, and if he comes out clean, you play him in the playoffs if you're in the playoffs. Maybe that's how you approach it. These are tough conversations. These are tough decisions, and we'll see how it goes. But even if he's 75, 80%, if the further injury risk isn't super high, I think you would take the chance to play him, right? I mean, this is it's a big opportunity to make a push this year, so we'll see what happens. Now, fellow receiver Luther Burden, who left Sunday's game with an ankle injury, doesn't sound too serious. He's more day-to-day, so I'm guessing either a a bone bruise, a mild sprain, certainly not a high ankle. I think we would know if that was the case. Ben Johnson said, quote, his ankle is something we're working through and talking about. We'll see how this week goes in terms of whether we will have him available Saturday night or not, but it's more of a day-to-day type of deal with him. That tells me, okay, at most he probably misses this one game and then would return versus San Francisco. Now, with his twitchy nature, is he going to be 100% if he plays in this game? Probably not, but if he can't go, you're really thin at receiver. You have DJ Moore, Olamide Zaccheaus, Devin Duvernay, and Jade Walker as your only healthy receivers if both Burden and Rome are out, and I feel pretty confident in saying Rome's going to be out, and, Burden's probably more of a coin flip at this point. So if he can't go, you'd probably have to elevate either Maurice Alexander or J.P. Richardson for this game to be available as a depth piece, plus potentially a returner option, especially if Devin Duvernay has to play more snaps on offense. So those are all things that go into this as well. Hopefully he can play. This is a big game. If you can beat the Packers, you are very, 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 very close to clinching a playoff spot. So, guys that are on the fence, I think I'd be pushing to play in this game. So we will see. All right, part 2, Bears, Packers, hate week. FGBs in the comments. You know what to do. I want to see it all week long. When I'm swarming through the comment section, I want to see FGBs everywhere. So light up that comment section. My name is Harrison Graham. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be here all week long getting you ready for Bears Packers numero dos. So rock with us. Subscribe today and bear down.
Oh. Battling through it.
Still battling, yeah, both of us.
I got to say, if the Bears sit in a zone and only blitz when needed against the Packers, they could hold the Packers to under 17.
If Christian Watson's out, Colin, they're far less explosive.
Yeah.
We saw that yesterday. As soon as he went out, Jordan Love and that offense was a different team. Now, full week of preparation, if he's not out, different animal. You can – clearly he's been a big part of their game plan, so it's tough to adjust on the fly when a guy like that goes out. But I feel confident that, especially if he doesn't play, the Bears should give up less explosives in this game, especially over the top. Maybe they pop like a jet sweep or something, or some kind of shorter pass that breaks loose. But I don't think they would be as susceptible to a vertical pass going for 20, 30, 40, 50 yards if Christian Watson can't play.
Yeah, we kind of have seen the progression of Green Bay's offense as the season's kind of gone on. When he was healthy, it looked like Tucker Kraft was going to be kind of the main engine in the passing game. Then, he goes down. Christian Watson steps up. Whenever he gets healthy now, he's going to be potentially questionable in this game. So do they just lean on Josh Jacobs? Is there another receiver that steps up? Maybe a Jaden Reed, maybe a Matthew Golden?
To their credit, they've kind of adapted and evolved
a little bit.
Now it's a big ask on a short week to build a game plan around one of these other guys. Now you would imagine they're going to try to lean on Josh Jacobs, but
yeah,
we'll see. It's a big loss if Watson's out, which we don't know if he's out. It sounds like there's a chance he could play, so we'll see. NXN, frigid but not frightened, bear down. Can't wait for Saturday night, man. Can't wait for Saturday night. All right, hashtag Bears Super Chat. Get those questions on the show. We will continue to pump in your questions here. Dude, this is incredible. TJ Finley, the quarterback who's played for, you remember him in college football? He's played for 6 different schools. He's applying for a waiver and is entering the transfer portal, trying to play for a 7th school.
Further away we get from COVID, you'd figure those cases would go away. But
this is the Diego Pavia effect. You just allow some loophole. Oh, JUCO doesn't matter, and now everybody can just play forever. I'm sick. I don't want to be a hater. I'm actually glad he didn't win the Heisman.
I'm so glad.
Because, look, there's elements to his story that are cool, but, it's bro, put the fries in the bag. You've been around forever. And you walk around like you run the sport. It's you helped turn Vandy around. Congratulations. Just because Johnny Manziel's a fan of yours doesn't mean you're Johnny Manziel.
Did you see that clip of him? They were trying to do this bracket thing where Pavia picks basically college football players, like who's the best one of all time. Like you would just pick a player.
Put himself in it.
He literally was. They asked him, they're like, yeah, Johnny Manziel or Cam Newton. He goes, me.
It was actually so cool. His story was way cooler when like he won 11 games at New Mexico State. You were like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then he gets this loophole of extra year at Vanderbilt. Like, and it was cool when they beat Bama last year when they were like this 6-6 scrappy team.
Yep.
But then he gets this extra year and they're politicking for the playoff and he's wearing a Heisman hat everywhere he goes. It's like, all right, I'm over this. Like this, this Make-A-Wish story, like, you're not a Make-A-Wish kid, dude. Like,
you're ready to learn freaking Liberty Mutual, my guy.
Yeah,
like,
the UFL's calling your name.
Seriously.
Like,
he may be playing up in Canada, let's be honest.
Ugh.
All
right. That's enough on Diego Pavia.
Use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get on the show. Could be a question about this upcoming game against the Packers. Could be some future plans for the Bears. Whatever question yet you think Harry might have a great answer to, feel free to use, like you see on screen, hashtag Bears. We can pull those comments for you. And yeah, we're about to get into this mailbag edition here on Bears Now.
Hashtag Bears, Super Chat. Get your questions answered on the show. Fire in the chat. Got a few in there. Let's get a few more. And we will take as many questions as we possibly can. Hashtag Bears Super Chat. Plenty more to come here on Chicago Bears Now. We kick things off with Bears Medical Tent. That's fitting. Chicago Bears Now mailbag. I'm Harrison Graham. He asks, or she, with Micah Parsons out, does Saturday become more of a Caleb Williams passing game? It's a good question because a couple ways to neutralize a dominant pass rusher is, well, just run the ball, which the Bears are good at. And two, quicker passing game, boots away from him, stuff like that. I did think on Sunday against the Browns, Caleb was actually more of the engine for the majority of that game. Now, as the game went on, DeAndre Swift had some nice runs. O-line got some push. We saw in the first matchup against Green Bay, the O-line struggled to get that push in the run game until the second half. I think if you can get Caleb going early in this game, like they were able to accomplish against the Browns, that'll be a good thing because it should open up the whole offense. You don't have to scheme around Micah Parsons. Obviously, you have to account for a player like Rashawn Gary. He's certainly capable, but it's not the same deal. So, yeah, I could see a scenario where the passing game is actually the more impactful part of the offense this week. But at the same time, you want to remain balanced. The Bears are a team that has a lot of success running the football, but I do think there's a world where that ends up being the case, where you hit some explosives in the passing game, which opens everything up. Should the Bears be run or pass first on Saturday? Type R for run, P for pass. Another factor here, Rome Odunze probably not playing. We'll see on Luther Burden. So if you're a little thin at receiver, you're playing heavier personnel, that could lean into just running the football more also. All right, Tom with the question, do the Bears win out? I mean, from a, as someone who is a betting person, I'll say, you would lean no because you're playing three playoff caliber teams. Now, at least one of these teams almost certainly is not making the playoffs, including, if you're including the Bears in this discussion, Bears, Packers, 49ers, Lions. Lions, the team on the outside looking in. You'd probably bet against 3-0, but I also think it's very possible. I do like the Bears' chances in this rematch against the Packers. Timing is everything. Micah's out. They've played two physical games against in a row, one against you and another one against Denver. You're getting them at home on a short week. I do like the Bears' chances. And even though you have to fly across to the Bay, the Niners play on Monday night this week in Indianapolis, so they'll also have to fly cross-country back. The Bears play on Saturday night, so that's a 2-day advantage in similar flight time travel situation. So I think that actually favors the Bears a decent amount, even though it's a road game. And then Detroit at home, you're hoping for the worst elements possible. The worse the weather is, the better that favors the Bears in that game against Detroit. So could they win out? Absolutely. If you go 2-1, especially if one of the wins is against Green Bay, you win the NFC North. So hopefully Chicago can do that. DC Viper, with Rome's foot injury, do you play it safe if you are the Bears and sit him till the playoffs? It's certainly possible. I think first things first. I don't think you play him Saturday against the Packers. I would guess he sits, and maybe it's one of those things where if you win that game, it's like okay, we're not going to force it. We're at win 11. We're feeling pretty good about being in the playoffs. Then if you beat San Francisco, maybe you would just sit him for the postseason and try to play him in the playoffs. So I think it's a week-by-week approach at this point. We'll see how Ben Johnson, Rome, the medical staff, how they kind of weigh the pros and cons here. All right, FGB gear available, T-shirts and hoodies. If you go to chatsports.com/FGB, that'll take you to the kind of catch-all website where you can see both the T-shirts and the hoodies. Now, if you want to go specifically to each item, chatsports.com/FGB hoodie, chatsports.com/FGB shirt. Now, do want to make it clear, during the holidays, shipping stuff can get a little delayed. You're not going to get this gear before the Packers game, but it's a motto. It's a mantra. You should be rocking this gear all year long and might play the Packers again in the playoffs. So a chance to get this gear before a potential third game with Green Bay. You're not going to get it before this game. Probably not before Christmas, too, because these shipping situations get backed up. But still an awesome opportunity to get some FGB gear. Chatsports.com/FGB. You're going to go straight to the hoodie or T-shirt. Chatsports.com/FGB hoodie or /FGB shirt. All right, Mason Weiss, thoughts on Texas A&M edge rusher Cassius Howe. Yeah, I didn't touch on it too much last week in Field Yates' mock draft for ESPN. He had the Bears drafting him. He's a fun player, speed rusher. I think his profile early on in his career is probably as like a, NASCAR high-end speed edge rusher, but someone who may not be an every down player just yet, especially in a 4-3 scheme. I think he probably fits a 3-4 better. Now, if I'm the Bears, when I'm picking, if I haven't made a trade for a big-time pass rusher, if there's a good pass rusher available, I'm making it work in my scheme because the Bears have just got to get more production off the edge. So I wouldn't mind the pick, especially if it's in the 20s, if the Bears are picking there. I think he's a good player. Where is Nestle? Is there a growing chance at Myles Garrett by June? I don't know. I mean, I think he would certainly welcome a change. There's a reason he requested a trade last year. You do wonder if he regrets signing that contract in terms of not holding firm with the request because he would have gotten paid no matter what. But at the time, and this is where I'll defend him a little bit, and everybody's like, well, he signed the contract, didn't have to. At the time, $40 million, that was a big deal. And then TJ Watt got 40, Jamar Chase. He may not have seen that coming, but it's kind of tough when your agent comes and be like, look, man, they just offered you $40 million a year and $200 million guaranteed. You still want to say no and stick to this trade request, or do you want to just sign it? I'd probably sign it too. So does he end up getting traded now? I don't know. The money ramifications for Cleveland, they'd have to work through. They still have the Deshaun Watson contract on their books. So that's probably more of a, would Cleveland be willing to take on the dead money versus if he's actually available or not. All right, subscribe to the channel. We got Chicago Bears content every single day. Doesn't matter when it is. Doesn't matter if it's the holidays. Doesn't matter if it's in the middle of a playoff push. Doesn't matter if it's late June and there's not much going on with the Bears. We're bringing you content every single day. Couldn't tell you the last day we did not publish at least one video on the channel. Most days we publish at least two. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications and support Chicago Bears now. It's free. All right, Bear down, D7R. Do you see the Bears cutting Santos, and are you concerned that he could cost us a game in the playoffs? I hate to say it, but he could pull a Cody Parkey. I hope not, though. Let's be fair to Cairo. He is a much steadier kicker than Cody Parkey. That was not a great miss yesterday, or on Sunday, obviously. I also saw Brandon Aubrey miss a couple kicks. Now, that's easier pill to swallow when he's banging in 60-yarders. But, look, I think for the most part, it's just kind of like it is what it is this year. You hope he makes the kicks that he's in range for. For the most part in his Bears tenure, he's done that. This year, he has missed a couple that he is usually made. That one on Sunday from 35, you can't miss that in a playoff game. If you're missing inside 40 in the playoffs, that can cost you. So you hope that's just kind of a fluke, but they're not changing kickers at this point in the season. So we'll see how it plays out. As far as next year goes, I don't know if they would just straight up cut him, but I do think at minimum they would probably bring in competition. He's an older kicker, doesn't have the strongest leg, all the stuff we've talked about over the last year or so. Mr. Schwann, and then we'll bring the boom for Michael Horowitz. He says, when Caleb will show up, which Caleb will show up, and what's up with the tight ends passing game, Loveland, Kmet. Both those guys have been playing pretty well recently. I like what they've been getting out of those two guys. Kmet had a bad drop on Sunday, but Loveland's been a difference maker. Kmet's had moments. I thought he was really good in that Giants game. Had some tough plays against the Packers the first time around. So, especially if they're thin at receiver, you would think both those guys are going to be involved, at least in the short term. All right, predict the score. Bears, Packers, the rematch. Green Bay won the first one 28-21. What's going to happen the second time around, especially without Micah Parsons? Let us know in the comment section below. All right, we got to bring the boom for Michael Horowitz. Boom, boom. He says, but would you really want someone that's almost at the twilight of their career? I think this is for Myles Garrett for that amount of money. Obviously going to have to eat with the contract, yada, yada. You'll be lucky to get 2 or 3 years healthy out of him. He literally has muscle spasms between plays. Well, the guy's about to break the sack record. So, look, there's always a risk of trading for a guy who's, 30 or so, especially with how much you'd have to give up. Look, I'd have to see what the trade value is. If you took him on just for a cap hit standpoint, next year, any team that would trade for Myles Garrett would take on Oh, he's got such a weird structure. I actually don't know what it would be. His cap hit for the Browns is $24 million. It would actually be tougher on the Browns to trade him the way they structured that deal. Look, I hear you, Michael. You'd be on the hook for a lot of money moving forward. It would come down to this. If you think you're a Myles Garrett away from winning a Super Bowl, don't you have to take that chance if he's available? Like, you could play it safe forever, or you can take a swing. So I'd be open to it if the value was right. You'd have to figure out the money part of it. I understand, but you can always figure those things out. But I don't see a guy who's entering the twilight of his career. Sure, he's a little bit older, but, he's having his best year ever. So I think at minimum you'd feel good about having 2 to 3 high-level years left. If you told me you got 2 really good years and 2 solid years, I think that'd probably be worth it to get Myles Garrett in this kind of win-now window. Dennis, instead of trying for Max or Myles, would you try and sign Trey for 1 to 2 years, Trey Hendrickson, I assume, and draft a defensive tackle round 1 and a round 2 edge as a successor for Trey or Montez? Also options. Hendrickson's price has probably gone down pretty significantly. I don't think Cincinnati would even franchise tag him at this point because it would cost like $30-something million. Now they might re-sign him, but could you get him on like a 2 for $50, $30 million guarantee, kind of a 1+1? Like, if you told me today you can get Trey Hendrickson for 2 years and $50 million, I'd sign up for that. You put him opposite of Montez Sweat, have those two here for a year, and then the next year you pivot off of at least one of them and kind of retool that room. To your point, maybe you draft a guy. So, I think that would be another option for the Chicago Bears. But I also think a lot of teams would be interested in Trey Hendrickson this offseason. All right, appreciate all the questions. If you have more, you know where to find me. Social media at HGramNFL on Twitter and Instagram. Still got to catch up on some DMs following the win over the Browns. I will do that in the next couple of days. So stay patient. I'll get you covered over there. Appreciate you guys for watching. Bear down.
Horowitz also added these, but I figured we could talk more. Look what happened to Parsons, he's saying, in terms of Myles Garrett.
I understand, but that can happen to any player. Also, and that's part of it, right? That's part of the sport. That's part of the risk when you make a big trade for that. Well, what if he gets hurt? It's like, well, if you're always worried about that, you're never going to make a trade. So,
Mahomes just got hurt yesterday. Do you think the Chiefs regret? Not that it's the same situation.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is if you're going to sell the farm on a trade.
No, I know, but I'm just saying any player could get hurt at any point. is what I'm saying. Even Mahomes, who's, pillar of the league, he just tore his ACL. Parsons, again, same thing. Devontae Adams went down with the hamstring injury. Injuries could happen to anybody at any point. So regardless of if you're trading for him or not, you still have to make it with the mindset of okay, have they had an injury history in the past, which, for Parsons, he didn't have until he had the injury. And then, again, same thing with Myles Garrett. It's just what kind of player are you getting, and is it worth the squeeze in your opinion? Yeah. He also said so did Robert Quinn, I guess adding on to that point. And then he also added, I think we're more of a TJ Watt from a Super Bowl than a Myles Garrett.
He's way more injury prone than Myles Garrett.
Think we're more of a TJ Watt. Okay. I think he mentioned voice to text there, but I don't know. If I'm choosing between Myles Garrett or TJ Watt, I'm taking Myles Garrett.
And they have the same contract.
Yeah. I'm taking Myles Garrett. Pretty
He's also a better fit in a 4-3.
Yep.
A bigger body. If you could build a Dennis Allen edge rusher in a lab, it's Myles Garrett. 6'5", massive, long arms. Now, Myles Garrett can play in any scheme, but not only is he scheme proof, he also fits the scheme you run. Right. So really well. Myles Garrett, games played by years. Rookie year, he only played in 11 games. Since then, 16, 10, 14, 17, 15, 16, 17, and he's played all 14 this year. So for a trenches player, he's been pretty damn durable. Pretty durable.
Yeah. And again, the player that you're getting, it's
even if he's 80% of what he is now, he's still a second-team All-Pro, which is far better than anything you got.
He is significantly better than also anything you have on your roster. Significantly.
Oh, my God.
At 80%.
He is – I'll put it this way. Myles Garrett makes $40 million per year. Montez Sweat makes $25. Myles Garrett is more than twice the player of Montez Sweat. And Montez Sweat's a decent player. He's a good player. But, it is not even close. It is not even close. He's one of the greatest defensive ends. When it's all said and done, Colin, is he one of the 10 best edge rushers ever? 5? Of this generation, I think he's the best. He's better than TJ Watt. You can line him up on both sides. I think he's better against the run. 124 sacks and counting, and this is his 9th season. He's had 12 or more sacks in 7 of his 9 years of his career. He's had 14 or more in 5 straight seasons. He's had 16 or more in 3 seasons. And this year he has 21.5 and still has 3 games to go. And by the way, he's doing this on a team that fucking stinks. They're horrible.
Kid Isco was in the chat. Wait, you're telling me Myles Garrett is better than Dayo Odeyingbo? Can't confirm. Can't confirm.
I would take Myles Garrett at $75 million a year over Dayo Odeyingbo at 6. We're watching one of the greatest players of all time.
This is generational stuff that we're witnessing.
If he was doing this, we mentioned this briefly on the watch party. If the Browns if they won the AFC North and he was doing this, he might win the MVP as a pass rusher. Seriously, if he had 25 sacks and they won the division, he might win MVP.
He might.
He's not gonna win MVP because to be most valuable you have to win, but he is the best player in the NFL right now. If I'm just talking about who is just purely the best player in the league, I think Myles Garrett's the best.
Him or 17 in Buffalo.
I'll take just best pure player. I think Myles is 1, Josh is 2 right now. He's doing this with nothing around him.
Yeah.
Malik Collins was having a decent year, but he's going to set the sack record on a 3-win team.
I haven't heard a lot of Mason Graham since they took him in the top 5.
He's been below average.
Yeah.
Schlesinger's a good linebacker, but that doesn't really impact what Myles Garrett does. Denzel Ward being a good corner helps a little bit, but he's been banged up. What this guy is doing for the team he's on, I say the same thing about Max Crosby, who's not Myles Garrett, but he's very, very good, and he's better than anything the Bears have. Imagine what these guys would do on good teams. Just the motivation factor. Year after year after year, these two players play for just jokes of teams. Jokes. Especially Crosby. Myles Garrett's been in the playoffs a couple times. They've had a couple good teams. But, imagine Max Crosby in on this team right now, I'd be like, holy shit, we're playing in games that matter in December. My season's been over before Halloween every year of my career except one. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
he's pretty freaking good.
he's unbelievable. Yesterday, that was a blowout. He had a sack and a half. You still felt him. Like
he's like in the of my lifetime. He's in the discussion with like Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, not even T.J. Watt, but T.J. respect to T.J. in terms of like best, like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, like best defensive players that I've ever seen in my lifetime.
I think Donald, J.J. Watt, his numbers would have been incredible if he was fully healthy throughout his career. And Myles Garrett, I think they are the 3 best defensive linemen of my lifetime. Now, I'm not counting some guys in like the late 90s when I wasn't
football conscious.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking like post 2005 to now. Those are like the 3 guys that I've watched. Now, other guys could have arguments like, T.J. Watt for stretches of his career, but like, I don't know. I feel like the last couple of years, Myles Garrett has separated himself from T.J. Watt.
I would agree. Much respect to T.J.
Yeah, who's phenomenal. He's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. Definitely going to go to the Hall of Fame. C-Dog, Burrow destinations, Falcons, Vikings, Panthers. Panthers are actually an interesting pool there. Number one, I don't think he gets traded this offseason. No. I think they'll change coaches and they'll try to reinvigorate him with some new energy. So that's number one. But, if next year goes poorly and he requested a trade or something like that. Problem with Atlanta is, at least for this offseason, they just don't have the capital. Don't have a first-round pick. So that would take them out this year. If J.J. McCarthy finishes this year strong, they'll probably give him next year, you would think. He's played better the last couple of weeks. Now, if you told Kevin O'Connell, hey, we got a shot at Joe Burrow,
you're jumping.
See you, JJ.
Yeah,
but my guess is, since Cincinnati probably won't trade him this offseason, they'll give JJ another crack. They'll sign some veteran kind of bridge type to be in the mix. Carolina's interesting, especially if it's a year from now. I think they'll give Bryce next year, but if it goes poorly for Cincinnati in 2026 and Bryce just clearly isn't the guy, that's an interesting type of team that could trade for him.
Yeah,
I worry. My biggest fear, other than Minnesota, is the Rams. Yeah. They've got the capital. Stafford is year to year. Like, you get him with that team and that coach and that young, talented defense.
You'd also have to double make sure that Stafford's like retiring. You're not going to keep both of them on the same team, obviously. But
that's why I think that'd be more like 2027.
Yeah. I will say this, Burrow maybe throwing to his other LSU teammate, Justin Jefferson. Jefferson finally gets his elite, quarterback for the second half of the career. I mean, I'm not even, I'm not a Vikings fan by any means, but just from an NFL product perspective, I mean, that would just be fireworks.
Oh, no question.
If they keep Jordan Addison too, so obviously Bears fans don't probably love to hear that, but I
think about this division if that happened. I mean, it's already a beast.
Already.
I mean, even the Vikings this year, it's like they're 6-8. Their defense is awesome. Like, in the games JJ has played good, they've won. So, like, they're clearly still a very capable team. So, all right, who do we got here?
Old no name.
No name.
From Cleveland, my first time at Soldier this weekend. Crowd was wonderful, and now I have bragging rights here in Cleveland. Caleb Williams, the DJ, in person was wild. Now FGB.
Yeah, I tweeted out the backside angle of that. Some local Fox Chicago photog got that. Really awesome angle. Crazy throw, crazy catch. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, the Bears are definitely the better team than the Browns currently. Both have had some rough years, but Cleveland's made the playoffs a couple times recently. So, yeah, it's good times right now. Randy, I was gone on military training Sunday. You were the only way I could keep up with the game. TV, I predict a rematch of 1985 NFC Championship game. Thoughts? Look, if the Bears just get to the NFC Championship game, that would be phenomenal. If I could sign up right now, hey, the Bears get to the NFC Championship game, I mean, don't get me wrong, I want more, but what a remarkable season that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, Rams Rams Bears at SoFi or Soldier Field in the NFC title game would be electric. I think that would be a pro Bears crowd either way, by the way.
Yeah.
I think they would take over SoFi, at least over 50%. So we'll see. We shall see. That'd be fun, Randy.
Yep. Liam sent this in to make sure we showed his question in the mailbag. So we sent in a 5, we also sent in a 2. Just wanted to make sure that we show those on screen.
Oh, we got you, Liam.
But yes, thank you for donating, Liam. Michael, Dennis Allen runs a 4.36, not a 4.3. I think you mean a 4.25, right, Mike?
That or he's talking about because they've been running a lot of dime package. Yeah, 4.36 adds up to 13 players, so that doesn't exactly work. But yeah, the last few weeks they've run a lot of dime, and that's for a couple reasons. One, they have a lot of pieces in their secondary they like. 2, they've been thin at linebacker. Like DeMarco Jackson's having to play. TJ has been on a bit of a pitch count. Tremaine Edmunds has been out. So yeah, that's part of it. And the beauty of having to do that is now, even as they get Tremaine Edmunds back here soon, they have a lot of different looks they can go to in their back 7.
They really can.
Which is great. It would be even greater, Colin, if they had a better defensive line.
Right.
But, I think DA is doing really good stuff with what he has to work with.
Well,
he's maximizing what the pieces he has. So
I think so too. And I think, listen, when you're at a loss for pass rush, like you have to get creative. But as we've seen kind of the past 2 weeks, even to a lesser extent with Cleveland, like the Bears, when they do blitz, teams are starting to find counters now and beating them over the top. So it's like, okay, now Dennis Allen sees that. What's his next counter, that counter, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
But to your point, if you have both your linebackers healthy, you have your secondary for the most part healthy. Obviously, it feels like the Bears are never going to get fully healthy in their secondary this season. But it does give you, to your point, the creativity to at least mix things up, show different looks, and get guys in different positions. So, yeah, I think Dennis Allen, in terms of if you had to like everybody for the Bears this season, I mean, Dennis Allen's going to be one of the top performing coaches / players this year for Chicago.
I mean, him and Al Harris, like, guys, I'm just telling you, Al Harris,
he's going to get a DC job.
I'd be shocked if he's not a DC somewhere next year. I mean, they lead the NFL in picks. Dallas was among the leaders in picks when he was there. Like, I know it's a different deal calling plays, but this is how you get those chances, right? When you become one of the elite position coaches, like that's how you become a coordinator. So my biggest fear is Jeff Hafley gets a head coaching job and Al Harris becomes the Packers defensive coordinator. Where did Al Harris play the majority of his career? Green Bay Packers. I know he's loving being in Chicago, but you're telling me Matt LaFleur calls up Al Harris and says, hey, come be our DC. He's saying no? I don't think so. So, like, enjoy Al Harris because I do not expect him to be back next year. Out of all the position / non-coordinator coaches that I think could go after this year, I think he's a clear number 1.
Horowitz did say he meant 4.25, by the way. So
4.25, yeah. Well, most teams do anyway. Either a 4.25 or a 3.35.
Yeah. Nickel base.
Yeah. So. Yep. Michael, stop. I'm not calling him one of the greatest of all time. If that's glazing, is calling. I'm not saying he's Michael Jordan, but like is calling Michael Jordan the greatest of all time. I mean, he's one of the best pass rushers ever. When it's all said and done, he's going to have – what's the career sacks record?
Is it Reggie that has it?
Let's see.
Reggie White?
Bruce Smith.
Oh, Bruce Smith of the Bills.
Reggie White had 198, Bruce Smith 200.
Okay, so –
I mean, Myles Garrett, 124. Probably won't get to 2. Well, it's only 30. I wouldn't rule it out.
He'll be
he's going to be at least 160 plus. 175 plus, I would think.
Will he get a graphic somewhere of, like, chasing Bruce Smith?
If he plays 5 more years and averages 10 sacks a year, which I think the next couple, he's going to clear 10 sacks for sure. Well, let's just say he averages. Let's say this year he gets, let's give him 3 more sacks, 1 sack a game, so he's at 127. Plays 5 more years, averages 10 a year. That's 177. I think that's very achievable. Like 10 sacks a year on average over a 5-year period. And that's assuming he only plays 5 years. Like, he could probably play 6 or 7 more years. So, don't do it. Don't do it.
I didn't see anything.
I'm not trying to glaze. I just think the guy's phenomenal. That's all. All right, Crisis King. Not going to lie, I would shoot for T.J. Parker or Keldrick Fault rather than trade for an edge such as Myles Garrett. You'd save a lot of money on cap because of rookie contract. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons. And listen, the best scenario, healthy-wise, for this team long-term is to draft and develop a really good pass rusher. Like the Texans right now with Will Anderson, like that's fantastic. You know, they'll pay him and they'll let Danielle Hunter go because they're not going to have both guys making $35-40 million bucks, but like, you know, that's the preferred outcome. The problem is now that the Bears are good and you're picking in the 20s, it's hard to find a Will Anderson if you're picking there. I think that's part of the kind of the calculus here. You know, I like T.J. Parker a lot. If you drafted him at 26 overall, whatever, I mean, what's a realistic goal for his rookie season? 5-6 sacks? That'd be a good rookie year. Will Anderson is a rookie, had like 7-8 sacks?
Yeah.
Like the good rookie pass rushers are still not in the double digits. It's pretty rare for a rookie pass rusher to clear 10 sacks.
Yeah, what did Aiden Hutchinson have his rookie year?
Dude, he had like 5, I think.
Yeah, like it's not that easy just to
Let's see. Aiden Hutchinson.
He had 9.5 as a rookie.
Okay, 9.5. That's like on the high end.
Yes.
Let's see. Will Anderson. Will Anderson is a rookie, and we all agree he's one of the better young pass rushers. 7 sacks as a rookie.
Yeah.
These are guys that went top 3.
Jared Verse had a really good rookie.
He had 4.5 sacks.
4.5 sacks.
Like, it's – and listen, that doesn't mean they weren't disruptive good players. Like, sacks isn't the only stat we should look at, but, like, you're just not, like – you're not finding, like, a plug-and-play dominant edge rusher, especially if you're picking in the 20s, as a rookie. They could turn into one, but it's one of the harder positions to transition from college to the pros. Yeah. It's just a different level of physicality and whatnot. Kane Dynasty, as a Bears fan, nuts to think we're a Super Bowl team. And they're in the mix. They're in the mix. I don't know what the updated Super Bowl odds where the Bears are. They're probably, I don't know, are they like between like 7 and 12 probably. Vegas still doesn't love the Bears. I think they're coming around on them. I would guess teams that have better odds than the Bears to win the Super Bowl. Colin's pulling this up. I'm just going to guess here. I can't see his screen. Say what?
I'm sorry. I'm counting myself.
I'm going to guess that teams that are ahead of the Bears, I'll just pull up the standings here. NFC, I'm going to guess the Rams have better odds. I'm going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, there they are. I was sorry, I didn't see them at first.
I was like, what bookie are you looking at?
No, I'd scrolled down. I didn't see them. They're there. Yes.
I'm going to guess the Bears. I'm still going to guess the Packers are ahead of the Bears via the sports books. I'm going to guess the Seahawks are ahead of the Bears. I'm going to guess the 49ers are ahead of the Bears.
Yep.
Eagles?
Yep.
I would push back on that one, but could have an easier path. Part of that is they're going to win. They're going to win their division, so you have at least one home playoff game. Bears haven't done that yet. AFC, Bills.
Yep.
Probably still the Ravens.
Yep.
Patriots probably.
Yep.
So that's 8 teams ahead of the Bears. Denver, that's 9. Chargers?
No.
So no Chargers.
This is according to FanDuel.
Texans?
Texans are up there.
They're ahead of the Bears. 10. And then
you're missing one.
NFC or AFC?
Or actually, you're missing.
Is Detroit ahead of the Bears still for Super Bowl? No?
Bears are favored over Detroit. You're actually missing, I think, 2.
Jacksonville?
Jacksonville's one of them.
Ugh, that's gross.
And
surely not Pittsburgh.
No, not Pittsburgh. Who's a team that's really hot?
Chargers?
Right now? No, who's a team that's really hot right now?
Team that's really hot right now. I said Houston.
Oh, you did say Houston.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go.
So what, they're 12th?
Yeah. So it goes just.
I would push back on 3 to 5 of those teams. Like I'd have them more like 6, 7, 8. 6, 7.
You did it, not me. I'll just read it to you in just terms of the odds. This is according to FanDuel. Rams are the number 1 team at plus 350.
I would agree with that.
Seattle plus 700 is number 2. Buffalo plus 800, Denver plus 950, Philadelphia plus 1,000, Green Bay plus 1,100, Patriots plus 1,300, Texans plus 1,300, Jacksonville plus 1,900, Baltimore also plus 1,900, San Francisco plus 2,000, and then the Chicago Bears at plus 2,500. Slightly ahead of the Detroit Lions and the Chargers.
The Jags. Part of that is just the AFC. There's an easier path. No Mahomes, no Burrow, maybe no Lamar.
Yeah, and I will say they've played better as well, like, especially since the Jacoby Myers trade. The Jaguars' offense has kind of figured it out a little bit.
T-Law's playing better. They can run the ball. They can stop the run.
Yeah, Bashal Tootin just, I think he's having finger surgery, so it's going to be straight ETN, but they're kind of a sneaky, like, don't discredit them a little bit, like, in terms of winning a playoff game.
It's just, yeah. Vegas tends to value quarterbacks.
It's true.
Which I think is probably why the Bears are lower. They're not sold on Caleb yet. So to have Jacksonville a little higher, too, is like, I don't care that you torched the Jets.
Obviously, this all can change with seeding and whatnot, but
part of these odds, too, factor in, okay, they're on top of the division. If they get to play at home, AFC is a little easier. Bears haven't clinched even a playoff spot yet, much less the division. So NFC's tougher, so that all plays in. I will say it's pretty telling that the Rams are that much ahead of everybody else, considering, A, they could quite literally lose the division this week. That's on the table. And B, the NFC is just tougher. So that tells you Vegas thinks they're notably better than the rest of the NFL.
Are they the only team in the NFL that's A level at head coach and quarterback?
A level at both?
At both.
Currently right now?
Like in terms of like that top 12. So like Los Angeles clearly is. I'd say, again, bias. I don't think Darnold's an A level, nor you could argue McDonald's.
You have to be more proven in the playoffs.
100%. Buffalo, obviously Allen's great. McDermott, I think we all can agree he's not an A. Denver, Bo Nix is up and down. I think Sean Payton's earned respect, but ideally, Philadelphia doesn't need to be said. Green Bay, Jordan Love's inconsistent. New England.
They're close-ish, but.
Would you say they're A level? Both of them?
No.
Yeah. New England, Drake May's played really well this year. Vrabel you like, but again, it's his first playoff, so it's like.
The only other one, just thinking of those teams, is probably the Ravens, but this year has been so wonky. Exactly. Like, I think in a vacuum, Lamar and John Harbaugh are A-level coaches, but Lamar hasn't seemed right all year. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably a big reason why the Rams are.
Not to mention they have a great team around them, too.
They also have a great DC. They have a great defense. They have, if Devontae is just back for the playoffs, they have the best probably receiver duo in the league.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're loaded. All right, Michael Horowitz says, easy to do when your team stinks. All he is missing the ring. Yeah, so let's bring him to Chicago and get the ring. Everybody wins.
Also, I'll just say this. Easy to do. I'm not sure exactly what he's like referring to.
I would say it's harder to do.
Yeah, it's harder, in my opinion, to potentially break the sack record. I mean, Strahan, when he did it, I forget what the Giants' record was this year. I guarantee it's not as bad as the Cleveland Browns.
No, Strahan played with dogs on that D-line.
No, I'm saying I don't know the record off the top of my head versus what Garrett's having to do.
Let's see. Michael Strahan sack record year. Let's see what year that was. 2001. New York Giants 2001 record. Let's see.
Maybe I'm wrong.
7-9. So they weren't great, but they were better than the Browns.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Browns are horrible and their division stinks. Dark City. I'm a Packers fan, not gonna lie. It's really fun that the rivalry with the Bears this year means more than just smack talk bragging rights. It's good for the league if both teams are good. Now, Packers fans want the Bears to suck. We want you guys to suck. We understand all that, but it's objectively good for the league if both teams are good.
No doubt.
So, it's fun if that's going to be the case moving forward. John with the 5. Non-contact, can't feel bad, happens all the time. The NBA analysts say it's because they don't train right anymore. I think it's just a lot of theories. I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think a lot of it is just these guys are bigger, faster, stronger than ever, And when you train like that and when you're playing the change of direction in these sports, especially in the NBA, the stop-start, I just think it's tough on your ligaments, man. And like NFL, I don't think playing on turf helps. Even if when you get hurt in a game when you're not playing on turf, like it just adds up over the season. You know, these experts say when you tear your ACL, that probably means leading up to the tear, it was trending in that way, right? Like it was loosening up and then eventually it just popped. Yep. That's why the calf injuries with the Achilles, those calf injury pops up. That's why these teams get really careful because they're like, well, if you push through that, it could pop your Achilles. So again, I'm not an expert, but that's kind of what we've seen over the years. So I do think we've seen an increase in those over the last, decade or so. Achilles injuries probably started, mid-2010s, especially in the NBA, seemed to ramp up. Clay, Durant. Now, part of it's just happened to star players, so I think it's caught our attention more. I don't know. I mean, I guarantee you this, these medical staffs are working around the hour to try and figure out what the best solution is. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. You don't want these star players not playing. That's not good for the leagues. TJ, do you think since he fires Taylor and Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski, if I'm a betting man, is it more likely that both are fired or both are back? I would say both are fired. And I do think both will be fired.
I would agree. I think Kevin Stefanski, low-key, kind of just wants to get out of Cleveland anyway.
Agree. Go be an OC for a year, then get a second crack. I do think he'll get a second chance at some point.
But if you're Cincinnati, right, and getting back, because I don't think I've really talked to you about Burrow's comments that obviously he just wants things to change, right, in Cincy. There's just no way you can run it back with Zach Taylor.
Yeah, because,
just no way.
You know, early in the year, you're like, well, Taylor might just get Joe Burrow was hurt excuse, and they'll keep him for another year. But when Burrow's coming out and he's being like, if I'm not happy, it's kind of hard to keep doing this. Jamar Chase, after the game yesterday, is saying stuff like, yeah, some level of change is needed, but that's above my head. Ravens players making comments. We knew on the opening drive they weren't ready to play. You just can't overcome that. Now, it is the Bengals. They're cheap. You never know. My guess is like the way the last couple weeks have gone, unless they just play their ass off the last 3 weeks, play hard, win some games, I think it's over for Taylor. And I think with Stefanski, to your point, that almost might be mutual. Just like, hey, you guys reset. I'm cool kind of being out of here. Let's just part ways.
It just feels like from the moment he got there, there's just been chaos kind of just floating around that he's had to deal with. Andrew Berry to a certain extent, too, that he's just kind of, dealing with the Haslams and everything. It's like,
look, when you make the Deshaun trade,
yeah,
and it blows up,
yeah,
and you're still dealing with the ramifications, eventually it's just kind of like, all right, we have to try something else.
Yeah.
Like,
just time to, refresh here a little bit.
Yeah. Michael, again, bringing the heat. If Caleb continues on a trajectory, what do you think that contract could look like? I mean, if he becomes a legitimate superstar, he'd become one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
Like, let's say this year he finishes strong, they win a playoff game, he's playing well, and then next year he kind of has that complete season, right? He's a bona fide top 10 NFL quarterback. I mean, is he getting the Dak deal? Because by then that's 3 years removed from the Dak deal. So like with inflation, like, I mean, if he becomes the franchise quarterback, he's going to get a lot of money. So, good problem to have. You'd probably want to, we'll see. We're not there yet. You couldn't pay him right now if you wanted to. He's not eligible. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. That's all I'll say. I would say this. At minimum, if he's getting a second contract, that annual is starting with the 5.
Yeah.
Because, that's like –
that will replace
Tua got 53 a year, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, around what Brock got.
So,
52
a year plus from now, if it's in the 50s, that's like a discounted franchise number by then.
Yep. The way everything's going, yeah.
And if he explodes next year, it's going to start with a 6, I would guess.
Yeah. I think, for him, it's, where if you just had to, pause it right now, let's just say, you could pay him and extend him. And let's say negotiations were in front of the table. What number is he getting per year based on just what he's played through this moment, December 15th, as we're standing here today? In your opinion.
Is he getting like the Baker Darnold deal where it's like, you can win with him? He's a good player, but he's inconsistent, but you're kind of betting on him continuing to impress, 3 for 100.
I think
he'd probably, if he finishes strong this year and you win at least a playoff game and he's part of the reason why you won, I think you'd be comfortable doing that type of deal. Now, again, this is all hypothetical. He's not even eligible for that. But I think that's what you'd be looking at. And then next year, if he explodes, then you're talking about, again, the 50-plus per year.
Yeah.
So, again, we're a ways away from that. He's not even eligible for that. But, yeah, I would think like the Baker-Darnold deal, if he finishes this year strong, would be something in a hypothetical world you'd consider. So, Justin Fields. He got a decent deal this offseason, making a lot of money as a backup. Who is your number one free agent candidate for the Bears? I don't know, Trey Hendrickson. Are we back to the Trey Hendrickson rumors this offseason? Without looking at a list, he'd probably be the first name that comes to mind because he's a good player at a position of need.
What are the odds Max Crosby gets cut? No, I'm just kidding.
Is Myles Garrett going to get cut?
Yeah,
that would be great.
I don't know what the free agency is going to look like. It's a little early for that, but
it's nice I haven't taken a deep dive because most years by now I probably would have done a 2026 free agent targets video by now.
Yeah, I'll sit there and obviously I was here last season for those of you who just joined us, and like around this time last year I was like looking around for like mock drafts, doing some more deep dive stuff. Now it's like playoff picture. I'm like,
it's fantastic.
It's new. At least for me. I mean, obviously, you've gone through the complete ups and downs with this team, so.
A lot more downs than ups, I'll say that. Yeah, without taking a deep dive, I'd say Trey Hendrickson be that number one guy. Appreciate all the questions, guys. We'll keep them rolling here. We got one more segment to go as well. Okay, we got Frankie. We still haven't forgot the shirt off good, better, best promise. Yeah, if the Bears beat the Packers Sunday, I'll go shirtless, good, better, best. I don't know if it's something you guys want to see, but I did promise it. So maybe I'll regret that, but I did make that promise. So,
Air's been moving recently too, so he's getting in shape for all that. In preparation.
Yeah, we're gonna wake up next Sunday and I'm gonna be ripped like Ben Johnson. Probably not. Okay, Remy, biggest NFL hot take this year.
Just based on, I guess,
take.
Based on what we've seen this year.
Oh,
it's a good question.
Biggest hot take. Golly.
Biggest hot take.
You got one. If you guys have one, fire one up in the chat. Doesn't even have to be.
I'm kind of just looking at the standings, just trying to let's see. Someone said we don't need to see that, bro. That's funny.
All right, listen. The people asked, and
Ooh.
You know what? You want a hot take? I actually can't believe I'm saying this.
Go for it.
Subject to change. We'll see how the final month goes, starting with tonight. I actually think the Dolphins should keep Mike McDaniel next year. And here's why. Number one, they've won 5 out of 6. They have not quit on him. And number two, here's how I would approach it when choosing a GM this offseason. Hey, we can't get out of Tua's contract right now. We finished strong this year. The guys fought for Mike. We're going to keep Mike. But if this blows up next year, it's easier to get out of Tua's contract. We can fire Mike McDaniel next year. We are promising you, as we hire you as the GM, that if it doesn't go well next year, you can reset quarterback and head coach. I think that's a pretty appealing sell to a GM because they've won too many games now anyway that even if you could get out of Tua's deal, you're not going to get a QB in this draft. You're going to be picking too low. So build up the roster in this draft, pivot off Tyreek Hill in that contract, keep Mike McDaniel, keep Tua, see how it goes next year, and then you make a decision after next season. I'd say that's a relatively hot take considering how ugly things looked earlier in the year. I would keep Mike McDaniel because you can't really move Tua anyway. And to me, hiring a coach with Tua, who could be a lame duck quarterback, I don't think that's that appealing for a head coach candidate. So I would just keep McDaniel, and I would make those promises to all GM candidates. Hey, if you're our guy, these are our promises to you. You will get your choice at coach and quarterback if this does not work out. That's my hot take. I would keep Mike McDaniel for another year in Miami. Now, if they get blasted the final month, okay, I might change my mind on that, but I'd run it back. I've been impressed with how they've held this together this year.
Yeah.
You got one?
I'll see. I'll test the waters with this one. Just kind of being put on the spot here. I think Bears fans will like this. The Detroit Lions have missed their Super Bowl window with this current kind of group of players. Look, I think with Jared Goff, you're going to have, obviously, always surround him with a great offensive line, great talent around him. And they still do have him. I'm not saying they won't be competitive, playing meaningful games. They won't have great teams over the next few years. But in terms of being, Super Bowl contenders and everything, you're going to see them start to pay a lot of the players that Brad Holmes has drafted and everything, and it's going to get tougher, right? Like Tyreek Williams in the first round this past year for the Lions, at least so far, hasn't been a hit.
You have to draft well once these big contracts kick in, and they have, but this past draft not looking as strong.
Yeah, and I just think that, Dan Campbell and everything, for as much of, a great head coach and a motivator he is, I think he does miss the brain power of a Ben Johnson and, even into a lesser extent, the Jets head coach, who I'm blanking on the name Aaron Glenn, that I think, obviously you can hire, different guys and maybe they'll have kind of a resurgence with that. But when you have all that special in the building, like the combination of, Goff coming in, the youth, the contracts and everything, to me, this current generation or iteration of the Lions, they missed their Super Bowl window.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. I think that, look, I think one thing is clear. There's no replacing a Ben Johnson as a coordinator. He's just that good. They still have talent. They're still really good offensively, but it's not the same. And, they're not a great elements team. I think they've gotten better in those conditions over the years. And just on top of all that too, Colin, the North is just going to be tougher moving forward. Mm-hmm. The Bears are not going anywhere. I think the Vikings will probably be back in the mix next year. Hell, they beat the Lions a couple weeks ago, few weeks back. Packers are going to be good. So, to your point, I agree. I think they'll be good. They'll have some playoff teams here. But, for about a year and a half, I would say the second half of that year when they made the NFC Championship game and last year, you could argue they were the best team in the league. Mm-hmm. And they lost. They blew that game against San Francisco, 24-7 lead. Josh Reynolds had a couple of key drops on fourth downs. And last year they had 600 injuries, and they lost both their coordinators. And this year they've still been good, but they're not the same. And
they've really, I feel like as the season's gone on, not played their best brand of football. They've had games, against the Cowboys, they played really well, at least offensively. To me, you're about to pay Gibbs. Aiden Hutchinson's contract's about to kick in.
Goff makes a lot of money.
St.
Brown, you've already paid.
And again, I remember in the offseason,
safeties coming up.
Branch is going to need to get paid. There's so many players that they're going to have to pay, and it's just it becomes harder and harder for you to kind of have, because to me when you get to the Super Bowl, you kind of have to have the combination of great veterans, but also youthful guys that you're not paying anything that are playing above their, rookie pay scale.
It's a big part of the Chiefs this year, honestly, is all their high-paid guys are older now, and they're not as good. And while they've hit on some draft picks, they've also missed on a decent amount. Mm-hmm. And, that's the thing with Caleb. If he plays to the level where you have to pay him, that's a good problem to have. You want to be in a position where you're paying your quarterback big money. But it puts that much more pressure on drafting and developing. So
it's also, too, part of, the success that we've seen in terms of winning a Super Bowl is either, A, you pay a guy that you believe in a Patrick Mahomes or that level of quarterback, and then you try to, get cheaper guys on the outside, or you have a quarterback on the rookie contract that you try to, take advantage of. Goff, to me, isn't enough of an elevator in terms of, based on where they're paying him and the level of player that he is, that he's going to overcome some of the holes on their roster that they're going to have in seasons to come. I to me, like Brad Holmes, you could argue top 5, top 3 GM in the sport, and maybe he'll prove me wrong in that statement. I just don't think the Lions, at least for the next half decade or however it is, they're not going to be Super Bowl contenders.
Also, who's their play caller next year?
Exactly.
Like, is Campbell going to keep doing this? Or
Yeah.
is he going to give it back to John Morton? I doubt it. Like, so he's going to have to go. It'll be their third OC in 3 seasons. So, yeah, I don't hate that call. Michael again, Harry, I know everything you're talking about. Sometimes change of scenery can completely change someone's career trajectory. No question. Captain CB, what's your opinion on the future with Odengbo? Based on his contract, you're stuck with him. You hope he gets healthy and can at least be a decent rotation player next year, and then you cut him the next offseason. It's, that's really it.
Random NFL news. Former NFL wide receiver Henry Ruggs has graduated from the University of Alabama.
He also recently
got a 4.0 GPA.
Had to go to a stricter area of the prison he's in, which I was reading. Typically when that happens, that means
you're in danger to yourself.
No, not a stricter area. An area he had loose restrictions. Like he was kind of, I don't want to say getting preferential treatment. He did something he wasn't supposed to do, is what I was reading.
And so his freedoms got taken away.
He got in trouble. So, and I was reading that could impact his parole hearing next year. So, that's not great.
His decision-making always looked at as one of the highest, clearly.
Yeah. Doodle Bob. Pass rush, clearly biggest need. Would you rather trade for or draft the top edge or interior rusher? We have Montez and Booker, but not much from the interior. I mean, what's Austin Booker? I like the guy. He's got a good motor. He's a rotation player. Like, that's – I don't think we can look at Austin Booker and be like, well, maybe we don't draft an edge because of Austin Booker. Montez Sweat, again, nice player, but he's almost 30 now. He's not a blue chipper. He's like a low-end red chip player. Good player, not great. Never – I don't think there's another level to Montez Sweat at this point in his career. I'm with you. The interior is not, like, fantastic, but I do think you have – depth and options there, especially with Turner and Odengbo's versatility. That's the one thing Dio does offer is he can kick inside. And I think actually as a pass rusher, he's probably better from in there. How do they view Turner moving forward? That's a question. Now, if the best pass rusher on the board is an interior guy, yeah, I'd be open to that. I don't think you have to be strictly looking at edges, but if all things are equal, I think edge is a bigger need long-term than defensive tackle.
Also, Booker was a day 3 pick. Like, he's performed about at where his draft level was.
Yeah, like if he continues to develop and is like a good number 3 edge, that's a hit.
Like, it's a win.
Yeah,
it's a win.
Like he's having to start right now. Again, it's that domino effect. They're asking him to be more than he's probably capable of. So, KJ, can anyone else besides Tremaine come off IR? Yeah, I mean, like you've got other guys on IR, like.
Kyler's on IR.
Kyler Gordon could return for the playoffs. I mean, like Roschon Johnson's on IR. I don't have any expectations. I mean, Braxton Jones, Karan Amagaji. Don't think they're coming back. Luke Newman could be a guy that comes back as a backup guard. I think that's pretty much it. Like Dio out for the year, Shamar out for the year, Terrell Smith out for the year. So, yeah. That's Tremaine's the main one that can actually make a big impact. Or Kyler if he gets back for the playoffs. We'll see. Michael Horowitz, Harry, as long as your name is not literal, I'm okay with that. I think in reference to taking the shirt off. I'm not one of those super hairy chest guys.
That makes one of us.
Colin's got the the hairy chest, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
If the Bears win the Super Bowl, are we getting a Cullen good, better, best?
Oh, good
if the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, you do a lot for a Seahawks Super Bowl, I feel like.
We'll just leave it at that, yeah.
I will say, what's going to be stressful if we get a Bears Seahawks playoff game? Have you thought about that scenario at all?
Yes, I have, because a lot of people in the chat have asked that. Just in the fact of, like, I think it's really been for, like, most of the season. People are saying, like, hey, Seahawks are good, Bears, they mean the playoffs. Like, what's going to happen? I'll just say this. We'll have something planned. We'll have something ready.
He will want the Seahawks to win, and that's fine because that's his team.
Yeah.
But
It'll be a good time.
We'll put on a good show.
It'll be a good show. Listen, if you were here last year when the Seahawks and Bears played in the most entertaining Thursday night football game of all time, it was a good time. It was a good time. We'll have something planned. All right, we got Remy record prediction this year.
I mean, you're 10-4. I'll go 12-5. I think they'll win 2 out of 3. I think they beat the Packers and they split their final 2. Don't know which one yet on the final 2, but that's what I'll go with. 12-5.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously will depend too. There's just no way Ben Johnson loses to the Lions twice in his first year, is it?
I mean,
I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if he beats both divisional opponents and then maybe like Niners in between. That's a tough spot. Maybe something. I don't know. I feel like 2-1's a safe bet though.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. 2-1. Jarek Scott, do you think Kansas City will trade some good pieces in tank next year? Chris Jones trade. I could see them pivoting off Jones. Is that a guy the Bears would be interested in at his age? I mean, obviously, like the Joe Thuney thing has worked out well. He has not felt like the same player this year. I don't know. It's a big contract for a guy who's trending south. I don't know. Right now, I'd probably lean no on Chris Jones, and I love Chris Jones. I think he's the closest thing to Aaron Donald in this generation we've seen in terms of an interior disruptor. Now, I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald, but as an interior pass rusher, he's kind of been like that second guy over the last, better part of a decade in the league.
Yeah, for a while it felt like it was Donald, him, and Fletcher Cox were like the 3 best interior defensive linemen, and Chris Jones, especially post Aaron Donald retiring and Fletcher Cox kind of, aging out of his
Chris
career.
Jones getting close to the end. I mean, I don't know if he's quite year to year yet, but if you ask me more or less than like 4 years, I'd probably guess less. Christ is King. What bothers me is how everyone's expectations for Chicago's in the playoffs is too much. If we lose round 1 but win the North, I'm happy. This isn't our year. Well, it could be the Bears' year. But I do think at the same time, if they win 11, 12 games, make the playoffs, lose round 1, don't get me wrong, we'd be disappointed in the moment. But in a vacuum, that would be an excellent first year with Ben Johnson. You win double-digit games, especially if you win the division. It would suck, but, I don't think anyone looks back at Matt Nagy's first year as that was a bad year. It sucked how it ended, and it sucked even more that they didn't build off of that. I think this team would be in much better position to build off of this year than that year. Now, I'm not restricting what this team could do, but I think if this team makes the playoffs, that's a good accomplishment. But at the same time, the way this year's played out, they could do a lot more. I do think that. Michael just joined the stream. Hey, Cullen, when Rivers made that TD, did you get worried? What was your worry level at halftime, down 10?
Halftime, it was kind of one of those. It was like, okay, because they had the drive that.
They cut it to 7.
Yeah, they kicked the field goal.
That was big.
That was big. At that point, you're like, okay, I was waiting for the second half adjustments to see, all right, maybe it would be kind of a second half blowout thing. When he threw the touchdown pass to Josh Downs, I was not in a good way mentally. I'm going to be honest. Phillip Rivers dinking and dunking his way because you never truly lose your, quarterback mind, so to speak. And I was just like, he's about to will the Colts to a victory here. I was also texting my buddy who's known him since 7th grade. He's a Colts fan, so he's chirping me the entire time I'm trying to do work. It was I was not in a good way, but luckily for me, they ended up pulling it out. So thank you for checking in, Michael. Speaking of Michael, Horowitz, Arias Longers. Oh no, here, hold on. This one was an older one. We've got another one from Michael. Jeez, I will make a $500 donation for both of you to do it if we make the NFC Championship game. I'll tell you what, Mike, if you do that before the end of today's show, because I know you've been very generous.
You don't have to do it today. Also, I think he's almost capped on YouTube.
Well, he's got other resources, but if you do that, Mike, sure, make it to the NFC Championship game.
You heard the man.
I got you. And then we got Mike with a sticker. Appreciate it. And then Horowitz sent in again. Cullen, the last thing Mike to leave a fighter in the power is the power.
Last thing to leave.
I may have misread that.
I feel like this is voice to text gone wrong. or it's some phrase I've never heard of.
Colin, the last thing for me to leave a fighter is the power.
Explain what you mean by that, Michael. We'll flash that super chat. Here's what we're going to do, guys. We do have another segment.
Yes.
This show has run pretty long, and Monday Night Football is about to get going. We're going to save that segment and publish it. Oh, boy. Well, now we're not signing off.
No.
Now we're obligated to do this last segment. I was going to say we'll save that segment, but
yeah, we're not going anywhere.
Michael Horowitz on his second YouTube account. I think we got to do like a beer bong race too or something. Now.
We'll just do a boot.
Boot race?
We'll do a boot race for this.
All right.
Oh, it's just freaking gosh.
We're bringing a 5.
Hold on.
A 5 boom.
I'm gonna take myself off screen. I'm gonna go fill those boots up.
And then we'll bring the boom
Yep.
5 times. Yep. All right, well. Devontae Adams unlikely to play Thursday. Unreal. Michael Horowitz, man. He is a one of a kind. My goodness. Michael freaking Horowitz. What a guy. What a guy. Goats, it's not even that I want to go home. It's that I'm still moving and that I got to run to my old house, move more stuff to the new house. But, hey, listen, when you get that generous of a donation, you bring the boom. So that's the way you roll. He's a huge supporter of this show. So, wow, crazy. Crazy. Shout out to Michael Horowitz. We're doing a boot race, Horowitz. So it's 2 boots. Colin's doing a boot. I'm doing a boot. We're all doing a boot. If you want 2 races, we'll do one on Thursday's show as well. You make the call here. We'll boom, and then we'll get into the segment. Yeah. This is unreal. Michael Horowitz. What a guy.
Horowitz, you freaking son of a gun.
What a guy.
Unbelievable. All right, make sure we get everything loaded up here.
All right, we're bringing the boom, Michael. Then we're boot racing.
There we go.
All right, to the man, the myth. We call him a legend for a reason. His name is Michael Horowitz. Ba-ba-ba. Boom, 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 boom. Get the booms in the chat.
Boom, boom.
For Michael Horowitz.
Get the booms in the chat.
We're booming for Horowitz. All right.
Unbelievable.
Let's knock out this race.
Yep.
Then we'll do the segment. Oh, gosh. Unreal.
There's only 2 people left in the bullpen, by the way.
I know. That's why I was like, we'll just save that segment. But, hey, when Horowitz brings a 5 boomer, I mean, what are we going to do? Not unbelievable. Shout out to Mikey Horowitz.
You did not need to do that, Horowitz, but thank you.
Oh, the race with the cheddar flying.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you know.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. All right. Let's go to a Burden head start. I kind of got worked yesterday. So 10-second handicap.
Yeah, we'll do 10 second. I feel like you got me today.
I don't know. I'm not feeling confident, but
all right.
Handicap it at 10 seconds. Cullen, count us down. C for Cullen, H for Harrison. It's on a curve, but it's my only chance. So here we go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, Mississippi, A Mississippi, I Mississippi, Mississippi.
I just never got going there. I had to burp at about a third of the way in. I was like, this just isn't going to happen. This just isn't going to happen. Whew. Horowitz, we might have to save the second one for Thursday. It's just too hard to do two back-to-back like that.
We got you on Thursday.
But we will do another one Thursday. We will do another one Thursday. Oh, man.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get money off the screen, and we're going to load up this third and final segment. Talking about Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears.
Fun show today. Appreciate everybody for rocking and rolling with us. Good questions.
Great vibes.
We'll keep it rolling here. And
see, you know what it is also, Harry, and last thing I'll say.
And now if they're in the NFC Championship game, we gotta stick to our word.
That is. Yeah, stick to our word, obviously. Shout out to you, Austin. I'll say this. We weren't live Thursday. Again, we were dealing with the elements, schedules and everything. They missed us. And we try to bring a good show for the people. So thank you guys again.
Jarek Scott says, should I send another 500? Well, Horowitz says double up. Mike,
we're never going to ask you to send.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what. If Jarek or someone else matches you, we'll do another one. Otherwise, number one, it is not expected. Number two, back-to-back boots in that short of time, it's just difficult. But
just okay.
if Jarek wants to match him, we owe you a boot race regardless, Michael. We owe you a boot race.
Yeah, we do.
Horowitz and Edov. We might have to do a Horowitz Edov duck race, like best of 7 at some point.
Honestly, don't hate that.
Like
Edov, hopefully you're doing well too.
Off-season content.
Ooh.
Shout out Edov.
Shout out Edov. Real ones know.
He's gone through the ringer a little bit, but
Jesus.
Come on, Tyreek. We're not doing that.
Not doing that.
We're not cheering for injuries here.
I'll just say this. Thank you guys so much. Hated that we couldn't go live Thursday for you guys, but you guys always bring it, and me and Harry are very appreciative of you guys. So thank you.
All right. We have more Bears content if you're interested in that. Caleb Williams made a statement after the game in his press conference that caught my attention, and I want to talk about it. So let's do that next here on Chicago Bears Now. Caleb Williams caught my attention with something he said after the Bears win over the Browns on Sunday. He and the Bears are very confident right now, and I'm going to tell you why I think they should be. We'll get into that here on today's show. We have a little updated tracker on our Week 16 subscriber battle. Slight early lead on the Packers report. 81 new subscribers here on Bears Now. 64 new subscribers on the Packers report. Let's keep it rolling. Let's take those SOBs down. FGBs in the chat. If you want free and daily Bears content, and if you want to take down the Packers report, go ahead and subscribe today. I'm Harrison Graham. This is Chicago Bears Now. Caleb Williams feeling confident as the Bears sit at 10-4 heading into the final 3 games of the regular season. Here's what Caleb Williams said after the Bears win over the Browns. He said a lot, obviously, in his press conference, but here's something that caught my attention. He said, I feel like we're ready for just about anything. We're going to go out there and fight. I do know that. And I like our chances. Us versus anybody. And it sounds like a simple statement. It's like, of course, they're a good team. Why wouldn't they be confident? But, I truly do believe that, number one, they believe, and that's most important. The coaches, the players, that building believes. And I do think that belief is strong and is there. But I also personally believe, as someone on the outside looking in, that this team can beat and at least play with anybody. I don't think there's a single team, a single roster in the NFL that the Bears have no shot against in a one-off. Now, in the best of 7 basketball style, would I pick the Bears to beat the Rams? Probably not. But in a one-game scenario, the Bears can absolutely beat anybody in the NFL any given Sunday. But I think even in the playoffs, that is true for this team. I mean, looking at the NFC playoff picture, there is no team here that is flawless. The Rams are the most complete team, elite coaching staff, elite quarterback, elite roster. Devontae Adams is banged up now. You would think he'd be back for the playoffs, but they're still susceptible. Their secondary is kind of average. Matt Stafford, who has been mostly turnover-free this year, but can have moments where they come in bunches. We saw that against Carolina. I do think they're a notch above everyone else in the NFC, but they have flaws. We've seen how flawless the Eagles are as a team. The Bears went into Philadelphia and kicked their ass. That was not even much of a game. Seattle, Sam Darnold in a playoff spot, that's a big question. They haven't been as good recently offensively. The 49ers, beat up with injuries, have not played that tough of a schedule. We'll see how the Bears fare in the Bay in a couple weeks. Don't care who comes out of the NFC South. Packers, no Micah Parsons. That's a major loss. The point is, yeah, you could lose to a lot of these teams. You could also beat them too. Like if you're the Bucs right now, are you feeling like you could beat anybody? I don't see how you could feel that way. But the Bears could absolutely beat any of these teams in one-game scenarios, and they've done it at times this year against some of these teams. You look at who they have down the stretch, this will be a great opportunity to prove that, right? Rematch with the Packers after going toe-to-toe with them at Lambeau Field. You go to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, and then you get the Lions, who have been excellent the last few years, not as good this year, but still a playoff caliber team, even if they don't make the postseason this year. The Bears can prove a lot in these final 3 weeks. They've already proven a lot this year, and it starts with beating Green Bay on Sunday. Because if you beat Green Bay on Sunday, your magic number to winning the division is 1. You have to win one of your final 2 games to clinch the NFC North, because you'd be a game and a half ahead of Green Bay with 2 weeks to go. And you'd be at least 2 games ahead of Detroit with 2 games to go. Now, Detroit plays you play Detroit week 18. If they were to win the next 2 games and you were to lose to the 49ers after beating the Packers, Detroit would have the tiebreaker if they beat you head-to-head in week 18. But that's a lot of things that have to go Detroit's way before that game in week 18. If you win on Saturday, I almost said Sunday, you are in great position to seal the deal in the division, which means you're basically guaranteed the number 2 seed if you win the NFC North, because Philly's not catching you, and even if they even up the record with you, you have the tiebreaker with the head-to-head. And if you're the 2 seed, you're playing at home a lot in the postseason, so that's a really, really good place to be. How confident are you in this Bears team right now? Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being very. I mean, like an 8-8, 8-9, 9 flat almost. Like, I'm very confident. I'm just not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but any given matchup they play in, I feel like the Bears have a chance. I really, really do. So that's rare territory for me with this team, because there's been a lot of games over the last few years. It's like, they got no shot today. Like, it's going to be a long day. Not this year. Right now, I feel like any given Sunday, any given Saturday, Thursday, Tuesday, whenever they're playing these games, they can win against that given opponent. Now, coming up, I'm going to tell you why I believe some more tangible reasons why the Bears can make a playoff run. Doesn't mean they will, but I'm going to tell you why I think they can coming up here in a few moments. But do have to tell you guys first about our awesome sponsor. That is Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there is one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. To set a Prize Picks lineup, you do the following. You pick 2 or more players and take more or less on their stat projections. We're talking passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, combo stats, touchdowns, points, rebounds, assists in basketball, other sports available as well. 2 or more players, more or less in the stat projections, you are good to go for a lineup. This is an example of a 3-player lineup. I took more on Caleb Williams' passing yards this weekend. I really liked the way he played against Cleveland. Also taking more on Colson Loveland, demon play to have at least a touchdown there. And then I'm going to take less on Jordan Love's passing yards. I don't love Christian Watson's chances of playing. I think that will impact things. So this is a $20 lineup to win $130 with that demon play in there. Check it out right now, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, that is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. Okay. Why do I believe the Bears can make a playoff run? Caleb's confident, the team's confident, that's most important. But why should us on the outside be believers in this team? I got a few reasons for you. Number one, and we've talked about a lot of these things, but just to reemphasize, this team's built for inclement weather. Over the years, like bear weather football, can't wait. And this team hasn't really been built for bear weather football in various years. This year they are. They are built to play in elements. In fact, I think if you're the Bears, you should want there to be inclement weather in the postseason because you have a physical offensive line. You can run the football with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai, lean on those big boys up front. You have a play caller who's A, willing to run the ball, and B, really good at designing run plays and picking the right plays in the right times in Ben Johnson. And your quarterback, even if you are a run-first team, his physical characteristics and traits translate in weather. In a game with negative wind chill and gusts up to 20 miles per hour, he just was fading to his right across his body through about a 38-yard dart to the back of the end zone where only DJ Moore could catch it. Caleb Williams can throw the ball with piercing wind, with velocity. The weather's not an issue. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to make every play, but there's certain quarterbacks in the league, Tua Tagovailoa, for example. You get him in cold, wet, windy conditions, he's not as effective. Why? Because he's a timing-based, weaker-arm quarterback, and that lowers your margin for error when the weather is bad. That's not really an issue with Caleb's physical tools. That's why Josh Allen's a great cold weather quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, historically, great weather quarterback because they have physical tools to play in those conditions. So does Caleb Williams. Number two, you might have home field advantage, at least for a round or two. Now, you're on the outside looking in to have a chance to get the 1 seed. You probably need to win out and get a little help to pull that off. But if you beat Green Bay and win one of your final 2 games, you're guaranteed at least a 2 seed because Philadelphia can't catch you. That is the path to winning the division. The NFC South winners locked into the 4 seed. So you are guaranteed at least the 2 seed if you beat Green Bay and win one of your final 2 because you win the division and you're past Philly and either Tampa or Carolina. Now, to get the 1 seed, you probably have to win out. I don't think 12-5 is going to get you the 1 seed because even if the Rams were to lose to Seattle, they're probably winning their final 2, so that means they get to 13. If Seattle wins this week, they're probably getting to at least 13. So to get the 1 seed, you'll probably have to win out. But if you're the 2 seed, that means you would have home field for at least 2 rounds. So, and again, that kind of ties into the inclement weather. If you're playing at Soldier Field in January, it's probably going to be cold, windy, potentially snowing. Those things all play into the Bears' hands with the way they like to play football. So that is all very, very good. Okay, subscribe to the channel if you want free and daily Bears content. We're close. We're almost at 145,000 subs. Can we get there? Help us cross the finish line. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Okay, number 3. Every NFC team has flaws. Every NFC team has flaws. I think the Rams are the most complete team, coaching staff, quarterback, roster. Devontae Adams is banged up. The Rams secondary can be exposed. We've seen that. Carolina got him. Detroit, even in a losing effort, put up 34 points. Jared Goff cooked them. So you can exploit their defense if you can protect up front, which the Bears can. And then all these other teams, major flaws. Eagles have problems all over the place. NFC South winner, it doesn't matter who it is, major problems. Seahawks, really complete team. They're kind of like the Rams without the proven playoff head coaching quarterback, but they have an excellent roster. But can Mike McDonald, Sam Darnold in a big playoff spot, can they deliver? That's an unknown. The 49ers, they've done admirably this year, but really easy schedule, and they have a ton of key injuries. Those things can get exposed come playoff time. Green Bay just lost their best player in Micah Parsons, and teams on the outside looking in need to just scrap to make the playoffs. So The NFC, even though it's super deep and super talented, it's also gettable. There's not one team that you're like, God, we have no chance. Rams would be the toughest one, but if you get the 2 seed, you wouldn't have to play them until potentially the NFC Championship game. Okay, number 4, defense creates takeaways. This defense has flaws. They'll give up yards. They'll give up points. But when you take the football away, that can be the difference in a playoff game. Like, even if you're giving up some yards, some points, if you can create some short fields for your offense, that's huge. 2 things matter a lot in winning and losing games. Creating explosives offensively, winning that battle, you generate explosives, you limit how many you give up, and winning the turnover battle. And the Bears lead the NFL with 30 takeaways and 21 interceptions, number 1 in both categories. If that happens in the playoffs where you're getting, they're basically averaging a little over 2 takeaways a game. If you're getting 2 and you're giving it away 1 time or less, you're going to have a really good chance to win these games. Because if you win the turnover battle in these high-leverage contests, it's a pretty good predictor of who wins. And then lastly, I trust this coaching staff. I know it's a first-year head coach in Ben Johnson, and there's been occasional things that have bothered me, but all in all, he's been fantastic as a play caller, as a situational coach. Dennis Allen, given the fact there's been a ton of injuries and the front 4 has limitations, has done really well. He's adapted to what he's had to work with. This coaching staff has earned our trust. Now, first-time playoff game for this staff together, who knows? It's unproven, but to the point I made earlier with all these teams have flaws, why not the Bears? They have a lot of ingredients that translate. They have a lot of talent. I think the Bears, they could win a couple playoff games. I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl necessarily, but if you told me today, hey, Harrison, the Bears are going to be in the NFC Championship game, I'd be like, yeah, I could believe that. Now, they could also lose in the wild card round. They still have to clinch a playoff spot. That hasn't been accomplished yet. Ben Johnson said, hey, or what do you think about 10 wins? He's like, not much. It's not enough. They're focused. They got to get in first, but I think this team has earned our trust to at least believe that they can make a run. Again, whether or not they do, that remains to be seen, but I absolutely think they're capable. Will the Bears win at least 1 playoff game? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think if they get in, they're winning at least a round. I really do. If they're the 2 seed, I think they're going to be in a good position to win a postseason game. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this episode. We will continue to bring you guys free and daily Bears content as the Bears make this playoff push. So subscribe and bear down.
Horowitz, by the way, some breaking Rome Odunze news. Jeremy Fowler has just reported that he is considered week to week, as considered by this tweet right here that he just tweeted out. Sounds like that could change based on the action the team and the player takes. So this is in response to Courtney Cronin's tweet.
I think that's kind of where that tracks with my theory, where I think he's willing. I think he feels like he can play through the pain tolerance.
Yep.
But how large is the risk of further injury?
Right.
That's the math they're playing.
Yep.
Do you take the risk, and how big is the risk? If a catastrophic injury could happen, you probably don't play him. But if the risk of further injury isn't like a disastrous one, then maybe you do play him. I don't think he'll play this week. Typically when you're week to week, you're probably not playing in that week. We'll see. I think they'll continue to rehab, see how comfortable he can be. It doesn't help that you're going to be playing in these cold-ass games. Right. I mean, that makes injuries tougher.
Right.
It just does. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Just wanted to pass this.
I don't think they'll place him on IR. I think they'll see this through and see how it goes. But I'm guessing he's out this week and they reevaluate before San Francisco. That would be my guess. Michael Horowitz, if the Bears can turn the page, what do you mean by that? Like get over the hump?
I'm assuming that's what he means.
That'd be big, man.
Would be big. Michael Frazier, different Michael, says, rate Ozzie Trapillo's play 1 through 100.
What's the scale? Like
Pro Football Focus style, I guess.
Oh.
I mean, 1 through 100.
I'd say, like, if it's just a scale of just, like, in general and not, like, relative to he's only made a few starts, he's a rookie, etc., I'd probably put him, like, in the above average category. Mm-hmm. I think he's done some good things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he got beat by Myles Garrett a few times. Welcome to the NFL.
Right.
Like, good tackles get beat every week by Myles Garrett. So, yeah, I think considering they kind of quit on that left tackle experiment for a while,
Yep.
when you factor in, like, that detail, I'd say he's been really good. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's been certainly above average. Above average to pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, especially given the circumstances.
If he plays at this level or better the rest of the way, I think he's your left tackle next year. You know, you'd probably bring in some kind of vet swing guy if you don't trust Karan Amagaji to be that, which would be kind of hard to trust him. I don't think Braxton Jones will be back unless the market dries up. Maybe you'd bring him back as a backup for cheap. But, yeah, I mean, I think – oh, you got Theo. He's a decent swing option.
Yep.
You almost forget about Theo since Ozzy's been in there. So, yeah, I mean, I think all things considered, I think he's the weakest of the five, but he's not like a glaring weakness. Like, he's still solid. Like, I think he's showing he could be a starting left tackle in this league. So, that's a really good thing. All right, Colin, you've brought up a little shot clock here.
Yeah, you know, just, hey, listen, this is no need, but if you guys
got to sign off eventually, but if someone wants to bring the boom or something like that, we could do a few more questions. But, I mean, we're approaching 7 o'clock here. I'm surprised my wife hasn't been like, hey, what's going on?
Almost 2.5 hours we have been live today. And that was us kind of, you know, being slightly late with our company meeting. You guys crushed it. No need, but just, hey, since you guys have been so generous, figured offer kind of a last call here. It's the least that I could do. So,
shout out to the real one. Shout out to Horowitz. But a lot of people super chatting today. So,
yeah,
fun show.
Yeah.
Aren't Victory Mondays so much better than who's going to be the next head coach Monday?
Good vibes. Listen, I can't speak to that because you've been through the ringer with this team, but compared to last year.
Even just last year, though.
Oh, it was depressing.
I mean, just to kind of relate it to your team, too, I mean, how brutal was that Seahawks-Bears game last year? I mean, is that not one of the worst games we've ever seen?
It was.
I mean, that was
unbelievable.
That day after Christmas, too.
Yep.
You took me away from my family, NFL, to watch that. To watch... who was that offensive lineman take away? Jake Curran. Take away Caleb Williams' pass of the season.
Seahawks and Bears legend Jake Curran.
Fuck Jake Curran.
Oh,
nothing personal, Curran, but geez.
There might be a little personal.
We're going to meet up, Horowitz. Next time I'm in the Windy City, we'll link up.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that.
Just want to get him on screen.
Don't you worry about that. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
6-3 score, so sad. I mean, it is one of the worst. I wouldn't subject someone I can't stand to that.
We did it too.
I mean, you weren't even celebrating. Like, you were just like, thank God that's over.
It was just, it was stressful in the regards of like.
They had to win to stay alive.
Like they had to keep their playoff hopes alive. And yeah, just shout out to the Seahawks, man.
What a brutal game.
What a brutal game.
We'll do a meetup again. We did one last year. It was awesome. I'll try to come to Chi-Town in the off season and make it happen.
Yeah, it's.
I might be down, Michael. I might be down.
Horowitz. Oh, okay, that was to.
I might be down. Rent a car, drive to Champaign for a day.
Show
me around Illinois, U of I, Fighting Illini. Give me a little tour. I'd be in.
Yeah. I'll get a super chat up here.
I'd be in.
Where's Champaign in
It's I think it's like an hour and a half from Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's about just over 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's directly south. Directly south.
Where does Harry? So, Chat Sports is based out of Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, our company is based in Dallas, so
I
feel like we say that a decent amount. I know people come and go.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also like, hey, Bears, Chicago, like, it's the whole thing. We are.
I want to spend more time in Chicago. I'm going to try to make that happen. My wife and I my son PJ had a blast.
Yeah. I went once when I was in high school. It's the only time I've been up to the Windy City, but it's a good time. It's a good time.
Horowitz said he'd give a little tour of the facility. We'll try to make that happen, Mike. We will try to make that happen. All right, we do have to get out of here.
Yes. I think it's almost 7 o'clock.
This has been fun. Thank you, guys. We will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back live Thursday. Horowitz, we will knock out another boot for you Thursday. Don't you worry. And until then, bear down, everybody.